It's podcast time. Lock it in with the Underrated Trainwreck 2 Adulting.
We're on. We're live. Okay. Well, what's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the Underrated Trainwreck to Adulting. I'm one of your co-hosts, Candiva. You know, the life of the party and the definition of fun.
Alongside your boy, DJ Naph, aka the best kept secret. What up, what up, what up, what up?
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Oh, happy November.
Yo, for real? We just gonna start like that?
Happy November.
I feel
Happy
like something's coming
No Nut November
is
what I'm hearing.
That's what we doing?
This is what I'm
Word?
hearing.
We going right into it like that.
This is what I'm hearing.
Damn.
So for some of you folks who are not hip, apparently the men out here are rebelling against getting a nut for the month of November, catching a nut, throwing a nut, doing whatever.
All of that, huh?
So I would like to see if DJ Naph is going to really take you not celebrating?
Man, listen, yo, like it's first of all, it's no shave November. Okay.
And it's no nut. And y'all ain't getting no BJs and steaks and whatever else y'all be making. Y'all be making up shit all year long. Like, I'm tired of it. Okay.
Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I definitely heard the no shave November.
Yeah.
But
the no nut is new. You know what I'm saying?
It's not that new because y'all got shirts.
I mean, last year was
saw
the first
a whole
year.
hoodie with that. Like,
yeah, yo, I got that joint upstairs.
Do you?
Nah.
I say you ready? You gonna go out, go wear that?
Yeah.
Y'all dare you wear something like that to work? They'd be like, "Huh, interesting. No, not
Listen,
November. Man. What does that mean?" You just be like, no acorns, no peanuts, no. Like, they'd be like, man. Yeah, okay.
It's a cleansing process, yo.
Well, go ahead and cleanse, boo.
Wash some of these skanks.
That's okay. Women, we can still make them take us out, and we ain't gotta give them that at the end of the day. So
listen, you fall for that if you want to.
Let me go ahead and start this.
Since you didn't brought that up,
okay.
So I actually was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, taking a young lady out. Later this
year.
You
know I'll be ready for all this. Well,
let's say meeting up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right. And I might have to do like a blog or something about this because this is getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. You know
what, though? I'll say this. I love your stories, but they're one-sided because I only get your side and I don't get to talk
That's the side that matters.
No. There's two sides to every story.
I'm fair.
I be trying to give y'all my honest truth. And then you be making up shit in the midst of my stories. You be like, you probably did this. And I'll be like, this nigga
usually
right
I'll
here.
Be right. But she's trying to.
No,
she just wants to take the woman's side. That's
it's
not a bashing thing or anything like that.
It's not that. It's not me like taking a woman's side. I just want to hear both sides
because
then,
okay, that's fair.
The good thing is you can walk away and be like, you know what? This is where we went wrong. Like, because you can listen to both sides and then you can dissect it a little bit more.
I'll give you the context and you could tell me where she went wrong.
Oh, okay. Right. Or you.
So here's the context. Like, I met her. Matter of fact, when we went to. You didn't go, I don't think. Remember, was it last year before last? We went to the R&B Only, I think is what it is.
Okay, yeah, I did not go to that. Yeah,
right. So we went to that, and I met her. You know, we exchanged information. And we chopped it up a few times, and you can feel free to jump in on this too. But she was always.
By the way, we will introduce our guests. We don't want y'all to feel like we're being rude, but we like to get into our week, and then we give it to y'all.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta tell them. Okay. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah. But basically, like, she was always pushing for a date.
Okay.
Right? So me, and we've had this conversation before, like on the podcast. You listen to the podcast. A date for me is like I'm planning something. I'm making reservations. Like I put some effort into it.
Yeah.
So those aren't just for any and everybody, right? If we the first meetup, I need something, right? More than just conversation and all that. I could rather spend a couple dollars.
Fair.
Right. So anyway, after on and off, chopping it up or whatever, right? And she had turned me off. I probably turned her off a few times. This week, I finally was like, you know what? I should meet up with her.
Because it's cuffing season.
Nah, I just was kind of like, I'll give her a chance. Kind of see what she's talking
about.
Cold. See where she's
That's
at, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think she's cool. She's cute. So I was like, yo, let's meet up here.
Okay.
Whatever. Then today, she hits me. She was like, so should I consider this to be a date? And I was like, no. You know what I mean? I knew what she was doing because she kept pushing the date thing. She's like, well, then I'm not coming. So I was like, all right, that's fine. Like, I just want to hang out with you for a little bit. Like,
wow. So she did all. Okay. Well, she's petty.
But that's the thing though. She was like, "Yo, like I want you to court me. Like I want you to. You're not gonna tell me."
She's one of
she's
those.
One of those. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like,
so
I'm not that dude,
ladies,
Joe.
Like real quick advice. I'm not against the courtship. Like
Right.
I understand some women want it in a particular way. Some women want it
Right.
more than others. I will say that at the end of the day, you have to allow a man to be a man and
Right.
not like basically tell him what he needs. First of all, if I got to tell you what I need for you to do or something and like break it down in layman's terms, I'm going to be annoyed already that I have to do all of that. So you got to like let a man take lead. Like if a guy hits me up and he wants to hang out, in my mind, he wants to see me.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that we won't ever go on an official date.
Right.
It's just, I think it's fair. We talked about pre-dating before on this podcast. Right. And I think it's fair. Like not everybody deserves the, yo, I'm about to spend mad money on you. And it's like, hey, let's go to happy hour or cool. Let's go to something simple where I'm not going to be spending a lot of money and get to know each other. We may vibe and be like, yo, I want to take her out again. Right. Or you may be like, yeah, that's a one and done situation.
And that's my whole thing. I didn't went on too many dates.
But the fact that she was like, is this a date? And then you said no. And she's like, well, then I'm washing my hair. Like she's doing the most, girl. Like the most.
But this is why, like, I stopped dating a while ago.
I still want to hear her side, but we
reasons like, I mean, I'm sure she'll probably have a reason. You know, I look at it like this: like, she comes from that girl. You got to tell a man how to treat you. You got to, you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff is real. You know what I'm saying? They push that. Like,
I'm not against communicating your feelings, like what you're looking for, things of that nature. I'm not against that. I just think that there's a certain way you need to go about doing it.
I think it's certain people too. You have to know who you're dealing with.
Oh,
Because there's some dudes, they don't know how to date. They don't know how to court. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more like you got to show me something. Like why am I going
So to her defense though, she may not know that about you.
That's her problem.
But then to your defense, she didn't give you the chance to show you or show her that, you know, hey, I'm cool. Like I could do this. So all right. So DJ Naph basically got canceled on y'all. But
hey, DJ Naph just saved a couple dollars. So that's we gonna celebrate on that.
Where's the boo?
Oh, word? That probably was a little more appropriate.
But yeah, so everybody make sure, I know we kind of got into it, but make sure you follow us on social media, the Underrated Trainwreck to Adulting. We are on every platform. And then if you want to listen to us, of course, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and you guys are probably watching us live on YouTube right now. So share, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
All of that.
Yes.
We need all of that.
Make sure you follow at Candiva27 and at DJ Naph. And without further ado, we definitely need to introduce our guest today.
Oh, he getting ready now. He done rolled the sleeves up. Okay.
Roll the sleeves
right
up.
On time.
He already had a drink in his system, y'all. Like it's go time. It's go time. So we definitely want to introduce Nels. Like he is the founder behind DC Now Events. I think I know I follow you. A lot of other people follow you. And so welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming through. It's crazy
because I would see like ads and stuff from DC Now Events on Facebook and then on Instagram, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So then to make that personal connection was dope.
It was random. So I went to the BET event for Tyler Perry. He had his he wasn't personally there, but their launch party for the Oval and Sisters. So I'm there, and you know, kind of like what people do in DC, making connections, networking with one another, and realizing, hey, I got this platform, you got this platform. Let's connect and make something happen. I thought it was really dope. Shout out to Nicole Williams. She's the one who she just formally introduced us, and then we just started talking, and it went from there. And I'm like, you're the face behind DC Now, because nobody knows. Well, at least me personally, I didn't know who was behind DC Now Events. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you from, just a little blurb, and we're gonna definitely get into it a little bit later.
Already. Well, my name is Nell Cephas. founder of DC Now Events, a former event promoter, nightlife promoter, event coordinator within the DC area.
For what spots? You said.
We can get into that.
I
later.
need I just want to. I want to know now. Later. I want to know if I'm gonna be cool with him or if we're gonna have some low key beef.
So when me and my business partner, we started off back then. This was like.
You said like 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Yeah,
yeah.
07 time frame.
Got some time in the game.
Got a footprint.
Yeah. We started off promoting, sub promoting underneath a promotion team back then called LGI. LGI was like the big brand at the time.
Okay.
And we was dealing with so many like, ups and downs with like
right.
The promotion team, the venues. So in 2007, me and my business partner, we have found a spot through Ethiopian guy who was starting a new 18 and up party at the time.
Gotcha.
And this spot back then was called Avenue Nightclub.
Which is
I've heard of Avenue,
which was previously, before it got changed into apartment homes, Lux Lounge.
Okay. Yeah. So damn, they turned Lux into goddamn apartment.
They turned everything into apartment homes.
Is no more Lux no more.
I knew it was closed, but I thought it was gonna reopen as something else.
No.
They turned that joint into some
it
right down from,
so different now.
So remember, it was Bar 7 and then Lux,
like
and now
Bar
7 is like 10-15.
Yeah.
Damn.
History is erased. Like,
yo, that used to be the move. We'll leave there and go to Lux. Lux was ratchet though. Like,
it was.
So before it became Lux, it was called Avenue Nightclub. And it was a struggling venue at the time.
Was it 3 levels then too?
Yeah, it was 3 levels.
Okay.
And it was at its peak. Well, it was at its decline.
Got you.
We came on board, and me and my partners had revitalized the venue at the time. And back then, our competition was Love Nightclub. Thursday. That was when Love was on a Thursday.
Okay.
And they was transitioning to Love on a Saturday for 18 and up.
Gotcha.
And they was taking the 21 and up on Saturday for Love to Fridays.
Okay.
So long story short, all the establishment that I've done was either establishment that was about to close down or they was struggling. So we never really had the opportunity to like had a owner who was giving us the game to teach us the game.
Gotcha.
So we had to learn everything like,
on your own.
On our own.
Yeah.
So all of those tools, all of those trials that I've learned, I took everything. And in 2008, I noticed there was a lot of college kids who knew about parties within their network.
Right.
And outside of their network, they had no clue what to do. Now, you had a lot of college kids who will move to the area and went to Georgetown, Howard, and so forth.
Right.
And they necessarily didn't know what to do because they wasn't a part of any network at all. So I said, bingo. I saw a problem right there.
Yeah.
So I came up with an idea where I was going to create an itinerary, which was going to be a brochure, and it was going to have a list of all the parties that was going on. And our party would have been the feature within the brochure. And I was going to pass it out on all the college campuses and so forth.
Right.
But I got so busy with so many events at the time that I never followed through with the concept. Fast forward 2015. The idea came back to mind. 2016, DC Now Events was birthed, where I basically took the business aspects of things that I learned from doing parties, concerts, festivals, the whole 9 yards, and I merged it with the new age of the online
that online presence where people
presence right now, pretending Facebook, Instagram, and so forth.
Gotcha.
And
so before you go, and I don't want to cut you off, but you interviewing right now. We ain't there yet. So we just want to slow you down a little bit. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We need you to get on some of these topics with us to go over, and then we can go back and we can give the people, you know what I'm saying, the whole rundown in the background of because as a DJ, I can relate to like what you was going through, working with some promoters and managers and like, why you don't be in the clubs, and like it's a lot of politics and there be a lot of headaches, and it's sometimes niggas don't want to pay you.
Sometimes somebody got to catch a fade.
Yeah. So it's a lot, man. But definitely appreciate you, like I said, coming through and kicking it with us. And, we're gonna get into Well, basically, we're gonna put some of y'all on to.
Are
some
you
of these
from here,
events.
by the way?
Originally, I was born in Liberia, West Africa.
Okay.
Came to America when I was 5.
Okay.
New Jersey, moved to Maryland.
Jersey. That's
Wait,
what's
wait,
up.
what part of Jersey?
Wait, hold up.
What part
she
of
always do that.
York City.
Oh, okay.
So he's like up on
you
your
from
side.
up top. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
see?
yes.
I'm
All
from
right.
like Southern Jersey, so I don't get no love. They're like, "Where you from, nigga?" I'd be like, "Lakehurst, fool." They'd be like, "Where the fuck is that?" And I'd be like, "See this little spot right here?
You
That's
like,
me."
hold on, we on the map. We on the map.
Right, I've never heard of Lakers.
Because it's so small, you literally can
You
drive
know,
through
Jersey
it.
got so many different
Yeah,
cities
it's like-
that you've never heard of and stuff, and
Right,
then you'll be like, oh, it's next to Cherry Hill. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Like
it's
you
like
gotta
30
correlate
minutes
like
from Cherry, of something a little more popular.
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah, where we at? But-
Yeah, but when you said you like Brick City, I'm like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I
That's
had
what's
cut
up.
school one time and went to Newark to go shopping.
Word.
Ended up getting caught afterwards, but you
Damn.
know, it's all
Is
good.
shopping dope like that up there?
So back when I would go out there because like back then I had moved to Pennsylvania and they didn't have like, you know, the spots, like the different stores.
Yeah.
So
like
every now and again we would
type.
we would go out to New York, Jersey, whatever, go cop our stuff because you know everyone's trying to be fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they didn't have the fresh stuff where I live.
Okay.
So yeah, we would go out there and you know go shopping, and of course everybody getting name
Let me
plates
ask this
and
though.
stuff.
So from where we're at down here, right,
Mhm.
DC, would you drive to Philly or would you go to North? Like if you was trying to look.
If
for some
I was trying to
clothes or
get clothes
something-
now, I would
something different.
probably go to New York.
Or New York. I was gonna say New York,
Yeah.
but everybody would go to New
But
York,
like
right? So
now I can buy everything online, so
that's true.
I wouldn't even
Never mind.
burn the gas.
See, I got to try stuff on, man. Like,
That's true.
I've
Yeah.
tried that before. Buy some jeans. I'm like, yeah, this gonna be nope.
Yeah, it's trial and error, but like I would definitely just order
Never mind.
online. But
Never mind.
yeah, so we
That's
gonna get
cool.
into this, y'all. Like
Let's talk
of course
about
we like to put y'all on to, you know, events that's going on in the
this is
DMV or just period. Yeah, I just
I wanted
wanted
to
to
go to
shout
this.
this out today because I thought this was, of course, a cool event. We went to the Kicks for the City, like when they had the sneaker ball out in Chicago.
Yeah.
So right now is the time where they're actually taking donations. And I know they're going to do this for quite some time, but
Okay.
today it's a little late for some of y'all, but you know, they did have a brunch today at Roy Boys in Shaw, and they were taking sneaker donations, gently used or even brand new. Doesn't matter the price. I mean, if y'all want to give them Red October Yeezys, y'all could if you want to, but it's definitely for a good cause. And I know they'll have a couple more events going on. So, you know, definitely look out for that, especially if you got sneakers where you like, yo, I haven't put these bitches on in a minute. Like, you know, you definitely want to go ahead and just donate. I know I went through my closet last time and I was like, I ain't wear these damn shoes. Like, I don't really wear sneakers. So the ones that I do have, either I wore the fuck out of them or they're just sitting there. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and donate these because
That's what's up.
it's just sitting here. But yeah, just, you know, be aware, keep your ear to the street. Sometimes we have stuff in our homes that we don't wear, we don't need, or you might feel generous and you want to go out and buy something, like definitely. And hit us up if you are looking to donate and you're like, hey, where do I need to go? We can definitely link you. We have a personal contact with Tiz, who's one of the ambassadors. My homegirl Marcy, like a couple of people that I know that are ambassadors. So
Okay, that's dope. Shout out
good
to them.
cause.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it definitely was a dope
And
event.
Roy Boys, let me tell you, Hunty, the food is good there.
Is
So yeah, it's very good. You know, I'm a foodie. You know, I be at all the food events.
Nah, that's
So
what's up. That's what's up.
yeah. And then I talked about this last time on the podcast. I just want to give an update because now, so Enchant Christmas is going to be at the Washington National Stadium over by the Navy Yard. It starts November 22nd. They're transforming.
So what is this?
So they're transforming the Nat Stadium into like a winter wonderland.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
the tickets start at $19.99. They actually have tickets on Gold Star.
What's Gold Star?
Gold Star is like another, like a Groupon, a Living Social.
Candace the plug with all that stuff.
Listen, I be trying to get things for the low. I be trying to tell y'all about date ideas, and y'all motherfuckers do not be listening. Y'all can go on there and get a discounted ticket and be like, hey, boo, I'm trying to, take you out today.
Right.
She'd be like, where we going, Daddy?
No.
And
She
then,
may, wait, hold up. Is
there.
this a date?
Is this a date, or do you just want to hang out?
If it ain't a date, I ain't going. I'm like, come on. I'm still kind of salty
so
about that,
then someone else will come and replace that person who didn't want to take the official date or the unofficial date, rather.
Yeah.
But I think this is cool. We're about to get into the Christmas season. Halloween's over. Now we got Thanksgiving. And you'll probably have people coming into town and stuff. So it's cool. It's called Enchant Christmas. It's at the Navy Yard, Washington National Stadium. It starts November 22nd until December 29th. So it ends right before the new year. And the highest the tickets go as of right now is $40, but that does not mean it won't go up, because you know what happens. Y'all don't like to buy stuff when it's cheap and you wait until the last minute and then you be mad like, oh, why is it now $50? And it's like, well, you could have gotten it at $19.99. So just putting y'all on, okay? This right here, I actually want to give Nels a chance to talk about this Queens and Castles.
Oh, okay.
Like the all purple gala.
Yes.
December 14th. And it's from 7 to 11 p.m. I know tickets are starting at $35. Give people a little insight on like what the Queens and Castles gala is about.
So the whole purpose of the Queens and Castle gala itself, one, it's an event that we're doing to bring together influentials, individuals within the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area who are influencer entrepreneurs, individuals who have their own nonprofit, people who are just doing something within their network or within the industry that they serve.
Okay.
And aside from that, we are giving a percentage of the proceeds to the 501(c) nonprofit called Kids Fashion Week DMV. And what Kids Fashion Week DMV does is they empower and they bring out the best in kids from the age of 5 to 17 years of age to teach them about fashion and the importance of entrepreneurship. And those are the type of events that we've sponsored in the past. And those are the type of events that we've posted on our platform. So it was only right to give back to the cause that aligns with our brand as a whole.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And it's all purple, meaning
why is it all purple?
The color purple,
because that's my favorite color.
Royalty, power, and overall
money, power,
community.
respect. Okay.
Right. So with the whole vision and the brand for DC Now Events, we are creating a community where native and tourists who reside or come into this area can feel at one, and they can feel like a tourist in their hometown.
Super dope. Hey, so for those of y'all that are watching live with us right now, and those of y'all that will see the video later, I actually posted the link to this event. You know what I'm saying, on the YouTube right
Look at DJ Naph being proactive. Okay.
Okay. So y'all go ahead and jot that down and get them tickets and get us some too.
And fellas, man,
I ain't got no money.
All purple, because I've been noticing a lot of fellas having a hard time to find purple. And they think they can come with a black blazer. No, it's literally
so it has
purple.
to be all.
You can't like accentuate a little bit.
You can wear black shoes.
See, look, he trying to get somebody.
You can get like a nice deep purple. I feel like.
So you a bruh? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yo, y'all gonna be looking like cues out in this motherfucker.
It's actually harder for the ladies to find an outfit for all purple.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
because you want to put some money on that?
You see this hair?
If you tell me I have a hard time, then you gotta buy my ticket. You want to put some money on that?
Now, since you all took the opportunity to give me since you all took the opportunity to have me on your show, we're gonna have you all as an invited guest.
Oh, that's super. That's what I'm talking about. Look, we in there. Now I got to find a whole.
You gotta find a whole purple suit.
How much time I got? How much time?
It's December. December 14th. You guys can Google Queens and Castles because I was gonna say like. I know once I went on the website, you can click there and it'll take you to the Eventbrite link and you can purchase your tickets. Go ahead and get them now. December 14th, 7 to 11 p.m. y'all love a good gala. So DMV is like, they're big on like, y'all like galas.
Always a reason to dress
especially
up,
when
man.
it's like a theme gala. Everyone's trying to show out.
Right.
So
And it's gonna be at a castle.
Oh, and it's at a castle.
And I was gonna ask you about because when I was looking for the location, and I'm like, it's not on here, so I figured it was undisclosed.
Right.
Okay, so that's where the whole queens and castles come. Okay, listen,
is that a real castle in Southwest DC? That's all the hint I'm gonna give.
Oh, that's dope.
So I'm gonna send you all the directions. And
that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Dope.
I'm excited now. I'm excited. Yeah. Let me put on my
camera.
calendar.
Yeah, there y'all go again, man. Yeah, make sure y'all definitely check that out.
The All Purple Gala 2019.com.
Super dope.
Yeah. So moving on, you put this down hot for the holidays. Is it hot girl? Like what type of event is this? Because you said hot for the. I don't know if it was Meg Thee Stallion. What's going on? I was like,
hot for the holidays.
Yes.
So hot for the holidays 2019 December.
Oh, do you need a refill, by the way? Okay. Yeah.
So
exactly.
y'all are so thirsty. So thirsty.
It's only right.
We might have that at the gala.
If we could just get
listen, Trader Joe's.
Toast real quick.
Yeah, let's do a little toast. What you drinking, DJ Naph?
Oh, this is like some juice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna think of something clever to say, but I'm just want y'all to know I'm keeping it.
Have you all ever been to a gala before? A gala?
I definitely have. Not all purple. Like usually the galas that I go to, it's like dressed up, obviously, but it was like to our own discretion and stuff. So
I've been in like black and white joint.
And then we just went to the Chicago Sneaker Ball, and that was a gala. That was dope because that was the twist was you wear dope sneakers. So you wore like a nice formal outfit, and then you wore like dope sneakers.
They actually had one in DC 3 weeks.
They did.
Levy.
Yeah, but like the big one is out in Chicago.
That thing right there was at a museum.
It was so dope.
That was
so dope. Like So
okay,
so you said hot for the holidays.
Hot for the holidays, December 18th, 2019. This is gonna be at the Barclays Center, right? And it's actually it's a Hot 97 event.
Okay.
Which, and again, I don't know how I came across it. I don't know how I came across it, but I thought I was like, oh, this place is pretty dope. And I know, a lot of our folks, they go back and forth between here and go to New York for different events and stuff. You catch a bus.
Not in the winter for me.
But yeah, so I saw the tickets are starting as low as $49 and go up to $349.
Now folks is trying to get Christmas gifts. Ain't nobody got $49.99.
That could be somebody's Christmas gift.
Right there. Facts. You be like, hey,
like,
Merry
don't ask
Christmas.
me for nothing else. You know what I'm saying? That's
got you a ticket. What you complaining for?
What you complaining for? Yeah, man. So they right.
And then I'm like, oh,
right.
That's
Yeah. So yeah, man, it should be a pretty dope event. I thought that was something.
Holiday. They're probably gonna add more acts to that,
and that's not going to include some of the opening acts that may not be included on that. So
yeah, is that an event where you need to dress up, or you just come like as
it didn't specify? I'm assuming it's gonna be just. And I just thought about something, This is the holiday.
I was like, is this
season? How you can't have hot girl Megan in that?
You can't listen. First of all,
absolutely not.
Bust it wide open for nothing. Like,
I had just thought about that. Like, wait a minute, hold up.
You could definitely. Hot girl Meg is
hot.
She can be inserted anywhere. You're welcome. Boy. You're welcome. So whoa, yo, you about to have the stands after you. Y'all make sure y'all follow at DJ Naph and put eggplant emojis in his comments. You're welcome. I like when people actually do it. That's actually funny. I do. I definitely laugh, and I'll be like, "Yo, tag me too if you want to do it. Tag me too."
Whatever. Hey, but moving on to these what the fuck moments.
Yes.
Let's get into that.
Yes. Are y'all fans of Summer Walker?
Me personally, I am, and I openly admit I think I enjoy that album a little more than I should.
Okay.
I can like.
What do you mean a little more than you should?
Because it obviously so I enjoy it from a writer / production, what I'm saying? Like the whole project, the way it was put together. I appreciate the overall, like, damn, this shit is dope.
Yeah.
The way it flows, the tracks they selected, all of that stuff. Like, I like most of the songs up there. So it's just a vibe. Like,
so you like her overall? You like her?
Yeah, I like her. I think she's dope. I would go check her out. You know what I'm saying?
Your girl's out here not taking showers.
She was trying to set it up. I seen that meme. I seen the meme. And
I'm like, so you like her, right?
like,
Okay.
word,
you,
like,
you
here we go.
you interested? Okay. Well, she
Wow.
don't take showers now. What's
Nah,
up?
I think she's probably a little too, too
Okay.
ratchet for me.
So
But I'm just keeping it real.
I feel like I'm gonna need some of y'all to relax on social media.
Yeah, they was going kind of hard.
That and Summer, you need to relax too. Why
is she?
you? Because okay,
Summer
never-
Walker.
Summer Walker, she's a
Yeah,
singer. She's an R&B
she's
singer.
starting to break out.
Yeah, like she's a
dropped her
new
first album
R&B
this year.
singer. And she
She's
recently went on social media saying that she hates taking showers. I'm gonna need
But
you
nobody's coming with the follow-up to what she said though.
Well,
they like, nah, she don't wash her ass.
Why
she don't wash her ass? That's what they going.
But why? Look, here's a picture, and she put all this. I hate taking showers. So this looks like you taking a whole bath. That's what it looks like. When I look at that, I'm like, that's a whole bath. You at some dude's crib, and you like, girl, I need to freshen up before I go to work. Like, we just did the do, and I'm trying to get clean now. So she was getting dragged on social media because people were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Of course, if you're going to come out with a statement like that, you gotta, explain yourself. So then she started to say how she likes taking baths and things like that. Like, so I guess like in my mind, girl, you probably should have said, yo, I prefer to take a bath over a shower. Right. Then you won't get dragged on social media. But you out here like, yo, I hate taking showers. Most of us, I want to say like 95% of us are taking showers. Why? Because we got somewhere to go. Like none of us really have that luxury all the time to be like, yo, I'm about to take me a whole bath. And then some of us have to take a whole bath, because you also need to clean up and you got somewhere to be. Like,
listen, some people don't know the difference between a shower and a bath.
Ooh.
And by the way, baths are still dirty. I don't care what anybody said. You're laying in your own filth. Like you're laying all the dirt that's on your body. You wash it, and now it's sitting in still water. It's not like it's being like filtered or something. Like it's just sitting there. So if you don't take a shower with a combination of taking a bath, you nasty still. So Summer Walker is still nasty because she likes taking baths.
I don't know, yo. Candace don't like to let that thing soak, fellas. That's what I heard. That's
First of all, I don't need to let anything soak. Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm good. I'm good.
You know what I mean?
I am so good.
I am not a fan. I dated a chick. She used to take a lot of whole baths, and I didn't.
A lot of whole baths. Yeah. Why?
Because she would be.
You wouldn't let her take a shower here.
Nah, it ain't had nothing to do with me. If I'd be at her spot.
How you? And she's taking whole baths.
She would be late.
Wait, is she doing that? So now let's get into it real quick. Shit. Sometimes you take a whole bath because it's like, okay, you and your boo about to get it in. You be like, let me freshen up real quick. Trying to kiss on your neck and it smell like outside. Like nobody's trying to do all that. So you might want to freshen up real quick. That's acceptable. If you use that in lieu of like taking a real hot shower, that's a problem.
Well, it'd be like you say, if you're in a hurry, you're running behind, but you don't want to not splash a little bit of water on you. It was like them type of situations.
But why was she always in a hurry?
Take a shower, you know what I'm saying, when she come home or whatnot.
So wait, I want to find, because she was clapping back on social media. Where is it?
Me personally, the only time I'll take would be considered a whole bath is before I go to the gym, depending on what I'm doing, because I don't want to be in there like, which sounds crazy.
I won't take a shower before I go to the gym because I'm like, I'm about to sweat. Like I'm good.
Or the barbershop. Like if I went out.
Oh, I heard like you guys take one after.
Like, well, take a shower after, but like with me, because I don't want to smell nobody else, so I don't want nobody to smell me like that. Like so, like if I'm going to the gym and I was like, maybe I was out Friday or something, and I'm going to the gym on Saturday, and I ain't, you know what I'm saying, have a chance to freshen up. And I'm like, damn, let me goddamn wash up real quick. It ain't nothing crazy, but just to, put a little so I can put some deodorant on or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll go work out or go get my hair cut, come back, and then probably get, it's a process with me.
I think as long. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all adults, right? Mm-hmm. So we know whether, okay, I'm going to take a quick, wash up because I just got to wash up real quick versus, okay, let me thoroughly shower and like clean myself.
Because now I'll take whole baths.
Or if you want to take a bath, cool. Again, you need to follow it up with a goddamn shower. Like you've been sitting in your own dirt. Like, listen, I've had to take plenty of baths when I was like 5, and I seen all that shit while I'm playing with my Barbies. Like, like
the ring around
the ring around the tub. Let's not
so
all
I was
fake.
asking if our guest takes whole baths. I don't know if he.
You said a hole like WHOLE or
Oh no,
H-O-E.
HOE, like a whole bath, like you wiping just the little intimate spots.
Oh nah.
He said, nah. You can tell, man, this brother's dressed.
I'm around a lot of people every day.
Fly,
so.
yeah.
Oh, he's like, no, y'all will never smell me slipping, okay?
Hey, he take royal baths, like the Coming to America joint.
First of all,
yeah.
I mean, you laughing, but you ain't deny it.
No, I take a whole human bath.
I'm saying you ain't got servants that are like, on some Coming to America shit.
I wish I was on that level.
So real quick, Skywalker, she had clapped back and she said, "Stay out of my comments with that dummy shit. I take showers. I don't like them because I like baths and a very nice jacuzzi or a garden tub.
Right.
If I don't have time or whatever, I'll take a whole bath in the sink."
Why she called it that? That's too funny.
Well, everyone calls it a whole,
right,
like HOE, whole bath, in the sink, something that every female has taken in their lives. Yes, I use soap. So, girl, you did a lot of explaining for somebody who's like, okay. Okay, girl, we believe you. I don't like. I never needed an explanation from her. I just need you not to go on social media and say I hate taking showers, and then like,
is that how it started?
Yeah.
So she just posted off the rip.
She posted a picture and was like, I hate taking showers. And then everyone, like, I could show you some of the comments where people are like, so
please say psych. Yo, like, I think I scrolled right past that. That is too funny.
Yeah, like, and then Summer Walker in the shower. Like, it was a lot of jokes, but she did it to herself. So yeah. Y'all be careful what you say on social media.
But you know what? I think she probably has like a good publicist or something that was like, listen, we need a little controversy. The album is doing okay, but we got to get the buzz going a little bit more.
Sometimes people say something and then be like,
and then it's trending, and because the album dropped and I didn't really hear nothing. Like nobody was saying like, yo, this album was fire.
If you go like on like even iTunes and stuff, she got a couple of joints that are like in the top, like
but I don't really hear nobody talking about it like that. Like I was like, they was talking about Tank though. They was talking about Tank.
Well, he's another one who made himself hot enough to the point where people are like, I'm gonna go get that album.
But the album wasn't, as a Tank fan, and this ain't even on the itinerary to discuss. Right? I've been a Tank fan for 17 years, and I remember the day because when I first started listening to him, I was in the Air Force, right, 20 years old. So I'm listening like all his albums, and I didn't got many cheeks listening to Tank. You know what I'm saying? So then
he lying, y'all.
He made
what happened with Tank? What happened with Tank?
Oh man, just the comment.
Tank was on a podcast, and they started asking him questions, like
about being a liar, and then
and it went into like
way left.
Dick, like, oh, so if a dude, like, it went into like a whole like, if like a dude wanted to like do something else with another dude, like it escalated from someone being a liar, and they're like, oh, lying about something simple, like you're a liar.
If you lie once or twice, you're not
right.
a liar.
And then it went like Angela Yee asked him a question. So if a dude lied about, and it kind of went from there, like about lied on his dick, So it escalated from there because now he had to explain himself. And I was like, he's a hetero man, so now he's like explaining himself, but then everybody's like,
he answered the question,
right? So everyone was looking right. So everyone was kind of like, Tank, you got a little gas in your you got a little sugar in your tank.
Yeah.
Like,
it just happened.
Maybe like a couple weeks now.
Yeah, like maybe like a week or two ago. Like
this was online because I don't watch TV either.
It was on a podcast, and then it just kind of went from there.
And they went to the Breakfast Club.
The thing is, at the end of the day, it creates a buzz around your name. So now you as an entertainer and artist have to figure out like, okay, how do I flip this in my benefit? So
what they say in show business, like any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
So
and if nobody's talking about you, then you ain't doing something right.
Yeah. Well, I was salty because like I was like, damn, like I gotta download this album. I can't tell them I'm listening to it.
But
they're gonna be like, yo,
what did he say though? Like I still don't.
I gotta find. I gotta find the exact.
She was like, so if a dude,
what he say he was a liar or something?
No. So it started off with lying, right? One of the girls talking about the situation. She stopped dating the dude because he was a liar,
right?
And then they were talking about, well, what makes you a liar? Like, what's the cutoff for lying? And they were saying 2. You know, you got 2 times a lie in a relationship before you considered a liar. 3 strikes, you out type thing. So she was like, well, what if a dude says that he only like gave head 1 time or twice? Does that make him gay?
They asked who that.
Tank says
that.
sucking dick doesn't make that man
and they said
like
if he only
gay.
did it twice, it doesn't make him gay.
Yeah. So
and then everybody took that and ran with it, like, oh, Tank out here sucking dick.
Yeah, like he was trying to say like sucking dick. If a man's sucking dick, like it doesn't make him gay, and everyone took that as him saying, "Well, if I suck dick, that don't make me gay." Like
we gotta keep it in context.
No, but
he said twice.
But I'm saying people ran with it. Now they're like, "Oh, Tank out here sucking dick."
This was the funny
gay.
part though, because they was like, all right, maybe he did it once, right? He was exploring his sexuality. And he was like, I'm not really sure. And then he did it again and was like, yeah, I don't like the taste. And then he never did it again. He was saying like he's not gay because being the act of being gay is like, okay, you embrace it. I'm gay. I'm attractive. Intimate with men. I prefer men. Right. Versus like, okay, I might have had an experiment once or twice with it. So I understood the context. I thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying?
But
because
he
they tried
saying
to
himself,
put it on him.
Like he wasn't like, yeah, so if I, you know, and that's where people ran
was like,
with
oh,
it.
Tank is out here. But when you really break it down to what he was talking about, he's not lying. Like he just, okay, that's a fair point, right? Like, all right, if you gay, then you're gay. If you like, all right, I've experimented, I've tried, whatever. But anyway, the point was, I was disappointed in the album. Right, because I'm like, damn, you creating this.
I haven't listened to that.
I'm out here about to take bullets for you, like, yeah. So I wanted to be like, yo, listen, I know y'all on Tank right now, but that album is fire. I couldn't even say that, so I was like, nah, I really gotta be quiet.
He was like, so Summer Walker. No, huh?
If it was, I would be like, yo, listen, I know y'all trying to give Tank a hard time, but that album is fire. It ain't even fire like that. I was disappointed, man.
Well,
I was now Summer's joint. She ain't gotta wash her ass, but that she the same.
Summer,
her album's fire.
Prefers baths. Okay?
I'm gonna take a bath with her. I'm gonna be right there with her.
Okay, y'all both gonna be nasty and dirty.
It's gonna be 2 rings.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of rings around that bitch.
It's gonna be 2 rings in there.
But yeah, so moving on. I'm not sure. Of course, we do have a lot of people who are Amazon Prime members. You know, okay, I'm one too.
Okay. Well, so I'm gonna cancel mine and get on yours.
The fuck you are. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all real quick. So what I'm doing, I got a whole student account.
Wow. You done put an Amazon Prime in her daughter's name.
You still in college?
No.
That's like her cell phone. That's what she did.
Yo, they allowing kids to have an Amazon Prime account.
Funny,
I was like, you know what? I went ahead and canceled mine, and we just going to use yours.
That's better than a light bill or something.
Well, no, that's different. But you're still being charged. I have it set up where it's billing me, but it's just a lower fee. But anyway, we don't need to get into that. I don't need Amazon to be like, word, bitch. Okay, no, that DJ Naph said that, but yeah, so Amazon now, they have Amazon Fresh. And what that is a grocery service. I know a lot of people use Instacart.
Is this the Whole Foods deal that they?
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like they have coupons, there's discounts, and it's within an hour or 2 hour window. If you do the 2 hour, it ends up being free for Prime members. So I already know a lot of people.
Shout out to Big Chuck in the building.
Oh, okay. What's up, Chad? But I think the dope thing is because Instacart, there's a fee involved and things like that.
I canceled my junk.
For Prime Fresh, you only need to spend, don't quote me, but I believe it's either $30 or $35. Once you hit that threshold, it's free. You can get your groceries within 2 hours, no delivery fee, if you are a Prime member.
Yeah,
so
that sounds like the move.
Amazon about to get some more people to sign up.
So they about to boot.
Yeah, they about to get more people.
About the
yeah, because the Instacart gonna have to do something because Amazon keeps coming out with more shit where they be like, who else can we fuck over? Okay, who else? Who else are we gonna take
over?
Yeah, so
that's what's up.
If you don't have a Prime membership, you're probably gonna sign up and. Don't ask me how I'm getting mine for the low anymore because I ain't telling y'all.
Nah, it's all good. That's all good. Hey, so I thought this was funny too.
What?
About Trump getting booed at the World Series.
So first of all, shout out to the Washington Nationals for winning the championship.
Hey.
It's been 46 years.
I thought it was like 50-something years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. First of all, DC has been some shit when it comes to like just sports and winning in general. Like, it's been a long time coming. So I actually went to go watch the game. I'm not a fan, but I'm a supporter. So I went to go watch the game, and it was lit out there. Everyone was just so happy. I was definitely happy for the Nats. It's dope to see that. But the funny thing was, during the World Series, Trump and Melania decided to go to the game. And when they announced it, Trump was boo. Yeah. And they was like, lock him up. And everyone started dancing and twerking. No, they weren't doing that. But y'all get the point. And it was like, it's funny because if you watch his reaction, once he realized he was being booed, he actually like smiled and looked at Melania. And it was funny because you could almost think that he'd be like, yo, they booing you, boo.
Nah,
like,
he's such a narcissist. He probably was like, you hear that?
Right.
Take it all. And they love me. They love me.
And it's like, bruh, you about to be impeached like 30 times over. And Nancy is working overtime. She on the weekends like, that motherfucker just did something else. Let's get him. Like, she got a running list for your ass. So it was actually pretty funny where, he ended up getting booed. Because if that was, even now, like if Barack Obama were to pull up, everybody be going nuts. Like, oh my God, Barack and Michelle are here, rolling out the red carpet. Trump showed up and they was like, boo, like, get him out of here. So, that was kind of funny. But shout out to the Nats once again, for locking that in for DC. Of course, the parade's today. So I know a lot of people went to that. Right. That should be dope.
Let's get into the real.
Going nuts. Like, oh my God, Barack and Michelle are here, rolling out the red carpet. Trump showed up and they was like, boo, like, get him out of here. So, that was kind of funny. But shout out to the Nats once again, for locking that in for DC. Of course, the parade's today. So I know a lot of people went to that. Right. That should be dope.
Let's get into the real story. This is the one I've been waiting to talk about. Because they talking about this one. I'm going to let you do this one. But they've been talking about this on YouTube. That's how I knew. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yo, they've been talking about this everywhere. We had to get into this. So... Miss Jones. This is definitely like a what the fuck moment. Like
is it really though?
It is the what the fuck moment. I'm gonna tell, at least for me, I'm gonna tell you why. Because it could be media mess as well. We like to get into the media mess or the what the fuck moments. But for me, okay, so y'all, certain age demographic, you might have been a B2K fan. So y'all know like Omarion,
telling your
Lil
age.
Fizz. I don't remember the other people because they weren't really
it's like that's it, right?
But I know Rachel recently went to their. They ended up
Rachel did.
Yeah, they ended up touring again. Like the
Rachel
band
like
got back together. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her what you said.
I think she's watching.
I'm gonna just stop. I'm gonna tell her what you said.
Hold on. But see if she's still in the group.
Yeah. So recently they went on tour, and Fizz and April are on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. April Jones is Omarion's baby mom. She had 2 kids by him, but they're no longer together. Her story is he literally just up one day and decided he didn't want to be in the relationship anymore. No explanation, she didn't see it coming. So she's been having a hard time with that, dealing with the kids and everything. And Fizz, now I want to know this. How many of y'all would feel comfortable like, I want to say Omarion and Fizz may not be friends like that, but they're definitely bandmates. They've been together for long enough to know, oh, I know your baby moms. I know your baby. Like Fizz has a baby mother as well. So her name is Moniece, and she's also on Love and Hip Hop.
I be forgetting about her.
Yeah, so she's also on Love and Hip Hop. But like, I say all that to say, everyone's background, what's going on, the inside. And he stepped up and was like comforting April during her time of like, oh my God, I can't believe he left me kind of thing. Right. Yeah. So apparently, during that time frame, Fizz and April were getting really, really close. Like really, really close. Like really, really, really close.
Okay.
And now they came out on social media. They are now in a whole ass relationship. Of course, social media went crazy because they're like, yo, like Fizz is a dirtbag. And they said Omarion seems so unbothered. He doesn't give two fucks. Like, he's just like, whatever. Me personally, I feel like this is a what the fuck moment because I'm like, are y'all really like, there's so many people in this world and you really need to go after I don't care if it's like, oh, we not really friends like that. That's still kind of your boy at the end of the day. Y'all have some type of connection. You know, that's his baby mom. She had 2 kids by him and you're wifing her.
Whoa, wifing though? Is he really wifing?
They're in a relationship. Yeah. And on the show, he asked her to move in. Like he bought a crib and he asked her to move in and he was like, yo, I love you. I love your kids. Like, I love our, like, you know, how we blending together and, you know, yeah. So they were trying to keep it on the low for a while and people were speculating, but they were showing where Omarion's like, he hasn't responded to it at all. And April and Fizz have been out here living their best life. And of course, Moniece is pissed like fuck because I don't know. I think Moniece she just gets mad.
She crazy though.
Yeah, I heard that too, and I've seen that.
Well, but, just from when I was watching the show some years ago.
Yeah, and it hasn't gotten any better. She went on her Instagram live and was going off about them being in a relationship. But and it's like, girl, it's been 11 years. I'm gonna need you to let that go. Let's talk about that. Let it go, girl.
Right.
But yeah, this was like it caught everyone's attention because it's like, yo, y'all really in a whole relationship now. Some people's like, yo, Fizz is a nasty motherfucker. They're like, that's your bandmate. Like y'all reconnected and got the band back together and you out here dealing with his baby mom.
Niggas run trains all the time, B.
It's not a train though. They like, it was like low key. It was low key, like behind his back. Like, it's kind of like you chilling around Chuck and Rome. And then Chuck all of a sudden rolls up with somebody you used to date. And you be like, well, what's the problem? Like Chuck, like looking at you like, well, what's the problem? Like, you ain't dealing with her no more. So, you know, she fair game. I think there comes a certain level of like respect.
I think I don't know, man. Like,
so you would be cool if Chuck rolled up with one of your exes.
Yes, man.
A lying motherfucker.
How you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me I'm lying?
You
about
lying.
Something?
You
How are you gonna
lying.
tell me that?
Because I don't believe you.
You don't have to.
I don't believe you.
I'm just telling you what it is.
You would be. Oh, you know what, Chuck? Let me text.
And I'm gonna explain why. Like some dudes are built like that, right? I'm like this. If we're together, then we're together. If we're not together, that means that's because we wasn't supposed to be together. So I'm not gonna try to prevent you. Like, and I personally don't care for dudes like that. They feel like, yo, once I date a joint, you can't never date her. Now, if I knew,
if you were
maybe that's the part you're leaving out.
So you're telling me you're in a relationship, you have kids with this woman, y'all don't work out.
That's something different though. That ain't their scenario.
But that's their scenario.
Yeah, their scenario is a big ass mess. Personally, I think it's for TV. But first of all, you know, let's give it up one time for Black Love.
What the fuck? Yo, he's like, and second of all,
I do think that they are taking the L though. That's for sure. But
they not taking the L.
That is the L. He's taking the L.
Who's taking the L?
Lil Fizz.
I don't think Lil Fizz is taking the L.
He is, man. Because
everybody's like, yo, we see you playing. Like, they just like, some people are like, yo, you a dirty motherfucker. And then other people are like, well, April's kind of bad, so I get it.
And she is. But she got 2 whole kids, man. And if he already got his situation, he has one.
Yeah.
Right. So you about to step in and take.
I mean, but that doesn't bother him. The kid factor is not.
It's he gonna get them cheeks a few times and then
he's been getting that.
Oh damn.
That ain't nothing new. Like, that's just y'all just catching up. The rest of us already knew. I say us because, you know, I feel like I'm.
Oh, and then she went in. So the little addict that I had, this joint, and she's talking about it was the best deed she ever had in her life.
Yeah, April's out here like, I'm gonna give y'all a show.
Just mad extra, yo. Like,
yeah.
That anyway, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but you see this picture? You see it?
Yeah,
they boot up. Like,
I think that's gonna. Yeah, we're gonna do a follow up on that. I'm like, yeah. So what happened with that situation?
We gonna wait. Huh? We gonna give it another year. We gonna
I
give it a
ain't
year
that long.
tops.
Give it 6 months, yeah.
But either way, I feel like how would you feel if like your boy rolled up and I don't know, do you have kids?
No, I
She
don't.
tried
Okay,
to get
so let's just say you were in a long-term relationship and your boy now and like that relationship has been over and now your boy rolls up with her one day to a party. They don't look like they're together, but you looking at him like, why y'all come to this party together? Like, what is up with that? Like, would you feel some kind of way or would you just brush it off and be like, whatever?
I think with a situation like that, I will look at it more so from an action standpoint. You can always have an idea or judge somebody based off their action. And I think with that, that would speak volume of his intent while I was with her. And
Oh,
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you got to
yeah.
think about that. Like,
Yeah, that's real.
yo, you rolled up with her. So what were you thinking while I was with her? You know?
Right.
But like, what would your reaction be? You would just be like, would you just sit there and be like, I'm not gonna say anything?
She wants you to cause a scene, man.
Amarion's not addressing this at all.
Why would he? Why should he?
I'll handle it like how he's handling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and with us dudes, when we're not addressing something like that, 9 times out of 10, we've been stopped associating ourselves with that guy.
With that.
Okay,
Facts.
gotcha.
There are
Facts.
things in him, that was not ideal.
Yeah.
Yo, Chuck said not Chuck. Right. Why she threw Chuck up in there?
Wait, Chuck is texting me too. He like, hey, Candiva. He just texted me too. He said, not me. I can't deal with my homeboy old chick like that. Let me say it like Chuck. Hey, not me. I can't deal with my homeboy old chick like that, especially bringing her to the gathering.
Hey.
Okay, Chuck.
Yeah. You had to put it in context. Now, the thing, like, of course, like, if he didn't know, that's, to me, I'm not going to trip off of that. Like,
well, then that's not really your boy like that. If he brings like your ex around and it's like, oh shit, y'all used to date, then now y'all don't really have a connection like that because he never knew who she was.
Right. So I thought that's what you was getting at.
No,
I'm not going to be tripping off of that.
No,
but if it's like,
right, and their exact
I'm
situation,
here with it, and now he there with it, like, playing my turn. I still, at the end of the day, would be like, word.
I'm gonna just give y'all my 2 cents on this, and we gonna move on. If any of my homegirls ever roll up with my ex, I'm gonna punch a bitch in her face. But let's move on.
Wow.
Okay?
I think just to piggyback off that real quick.
Yeah.
I think where a lot of people go wrong when they do decide to weasel their way into talking to their close friends ex. I think where they go wrong is that they're not transparent to pull that individual to the side and say, hey, look, I know you was in a relationship with this person, this and that, but I think, I find them attractive now. If you don't want me to talk to them, I'll respect that. But
that's real.
To me even initiating, I just want you to know, do I have your blessings
right.
for? And
I'll tell you,
the other person also got to be honest with them. So I'm like, nah, because a lot of dudes will say, no, I don't care. But in reality, a lot of them
they do care.
I think if a guy know that you and him are close and he been with you while you was with that female per se, I think that shouldn't even be a topic of discussion to even bring that to you, because that's just an unwritten rule that you don't go after.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like just as a just like as a human being, like that should like you should have certain standards. You should definitely have certain morals, and like, and kind of like what you touched on before. If you're trying to holler at my ex, what were you doing while I was with that person? Like, what were you thinking? Were you trying to look for the demise of us and like, so you can now, try to step your way in? It's things like that, because it's like, it's too many women and men for you to just be like,
that's exactly what I was about to say too. I had an old homie used to tell me that at the Pentagon. He was like, yo, there's too many other joints out here for you to want my joint.
Now,
no, that's real.
It's one thing, because I know sometimes some people are cool with somebody's ex and then people have a problem with that. I think that's a little different, because it's like, yo, I'm cool with your ex. Like, it's not that big of a deal, whatever. that still needs to be a discussion, because if the breakup was messy, maybe, yo, you haven't I'm at your crib and I know you're going to invite my ex and I really don't want you to, that should be more of a discussion. But it should never be a surprise. I shouldn't be out and then I see you rolling up with my ex to like a function and it's like, oh, hey girl, I'll be like,
right.
yeah, let me take my earrings off.
Those type of people are very dangerous people, because like the old saying goes, if you can steal, you can kill. And if a person can do that behind your back from a business standpoint and just from a ethical standpoint, there's a lot of things that they can do that speaks volume of their character.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you just
Fizz ain't shit, basically.
Why we keep putting it on Fizz as if April didn't?
She ain't shit either.
Okay.
Because with the Fizz thing, regardless of her choosing to be with Fizz, Fizz has history with right.
You know, and he pursued her in a
do we really know that?
Yeah, because they talked about it, where when she went through her breakup, he came and was like, I'm gonna make sure you're good, because she did say she took it very hard. It came out of nowhere. And then he came in instead of like it being like maybe one of her best friends or something like that. So it's a little, you know,
and that's why that's why you got to be very careful with a lot of dudes sometimes who like to play that BFF roles with the opposite sex, because a lot of dudes like that, they don't really know how to go about introducing themselves to the female that they're quote unquote best friends with.
Yeah.
So they play that best friend role as an approach to wait their turn. And a lot of females don't know that a guy will pretend to be your best
turn.
Friend.
That's the key turn right there. That's how it goes, man.
A lot of men will be your best friend for 15 years. You
and
already
they will
don't
wait
know
for that moment.
How men can be patient. A man can be patient for 20 years, waiting on that window of opportunity where you're crying, you're at your most vulnerable stage, and
next thing you know, penis.
So yeah.
Well, I'm mad you said penis.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, but see, that goes both ways, man. And y'all know, man, I'm a big advocate for the males, you know, because women make these decisions.
You can't be an advocate for somebody if they're just wrong. Like, you could be an advocate and you're like, well,
no, but you always talk about the other side. What I'm talking about is the context,
no, I'm talking about
because
both sides.
I've had women that I know who, like you said, your situation. Oh, this is my best friend, and there's some dude. But then if you have a good-looking brother and he's got a girlfriend, and then he hits you with the, oh, this is my best friend, and it's this fine-ass chick, that woman's gonna feel some type of way about it too. So I just want to be clear, like it go that whole. I'm not a big fan. It don't bother me if she's like, oh, this is my best. It's some dude. If she's with me, she's with me.
I was gonna say it comes to. It boils down to
I don't have any female
you
best
making
friends.
Me feel secure as your woman. Like, coming from a female perspective,
you should already be secure.
No. It's not about I'm secure in my own right. But if I'm with you and you have a bunch of like friends and they all, you know, good looking women and they may be out there, like, at the end of the day, you know, you're going to have female friends that they want to dress a certain way. They may be provocative, whatever. And of course, like, as a man, you're going to be like, oh shit, she looks good, whatever the case may be. But it's up to you to be like, well, that's my homegirl. That's my sister, whatever. Like, I only see her in that light versus like, you know what, if I get drunk one time, something might go down. So like, a lot of times women tend to tense up and feel like, oh, that's your friend? Yeah, we good.
See?
Because either one, she is like way too flirtatious and he doesn't check that shit.
Right.
And he doesn't be like, yo, what you doing kind of thing. Or two, like, you see like she's chilling, but he's looking and he's doing a little bit too much looking and stuff. So that's where, like, I think a woman starts to feel like, yo, what you doing with your best friend kind of thing, versus it being like, oh, that's your best friend. And it ends up being one of your homies where you like, oh, I love her. Like, she's dope, whatever. You have some women who have an underlying, like, kind of like what you said with men. There's an underlying, like, yo, this motherfucker slips
See,
up,
I
I'm
just
slipping
wanted it to
in.
get it on record. Cause we
So
know.
do you believe a man and a woman can be? You believe a woman can have a male best friend?
Yes, because I even have male best friends.
I
Like,
don't.
She got a bunch of them, dog.
no.
She got a
I don't
bunch
believe-
of them. Stop.
I
I'm playing.
was like, what?
Generally speaking, I personally don't believe a man and a female can have a male best friend.
I'm with
And
you.
I'll explain why.
I'm with you on that one.
One, there's few exceptions as to why a man will be
Those are
friends
backups. That's
with
what they are.
a woman. One, unless he don't find her physically attractive,
Mhm.
so he don't see her in that light, so he's
Right.
going to put you in the best friend category.
Right.
And some females don't know that they're not attractive.
Right.
Guys.
Look, he is
So-
giving y'all the game right now.
Two, he used to date her and their relationship ended, but it was on good terms.
Right.
So they became cordial and they just became best friends. And
Right.
these are the type of females that will introduce their new dude to that new guy that they're dating and say, oh, this is my best friend. But in reality, this was the guy that she used to date and she used to
Right.
be intimate with. So those are some
And probably still
slick
cares
stuff.
about her likes or
Right.
some shit. Yeah.
The third part, unless that guy is not unless he likes the same sex. So
Ooh,
so
forgot
she's
about that.
not really threatened by his alpha male traits because he's interested in the same sex.
Right.
The next part is
You got too many damn examples.
Nah, this is real
No.
stuff. You giving
there's,
the game.
there's always rules to everything.
Right.
There
Um,
are.
The last part is the introduction. You're dating a guy and he introduced you to his homeboy, and then you and that guy that was dating, things don't work out, and then you and him became friends. But his homeboy know that he's not going to go down that road because him and his homeboy still cool. Aside from that, women don't have male best friend. They don't have male friends. They just have guys who don't know how to get sex from them, and these guys will pretend to be your friends. That don't mean they have ill intent towards you.
Right.
But I just want a lot of women to know that you don't have male best friend.
right.
And the difference is a lot of you will think that, oh, that's not true. I've been knowing this guy since I was a kid. This and that. The
Right.
body you had when you was in elementary school and middle
Come
school
on with it, man.
is not the same
So I'm gonna
body.
let you finish
as
your
you
point.
grown.
The body
Right.
you had when you was in middle school is not the same body that you're gonna have in high school.
Right.
The thing is, a lot of you will grow up with these male best friends that y'all knew since y'all was kids, and these male best friends always like you, but
You know that too.
you put them in the friend zone during
Right.
your middle school days, and now they don't know how to get out of the friend zone.
Right.
And when the man don't know how to get out of his friend zone, he settles to become your BFF, your best friend. And you all get confused thinking this guy is generally interested in just being friends. And these are the low key passive hating dudes. Your best
Yo,
friends that whenever
word.
Possibly.
Word.
no, that's facts. Whenever you're dating a guy and you bring him around, like, hey Johnny, this is my friend.
man,
He'll
I don't really
always
like such
have
and
some
such.
salty. He always
Yeah.
like this dude,
Johnny.
but low key, this guy that you grew up with, your mom know him, the whole community know him. Your BFF. This is a guy that 20 years down the road, he's gonna pour his heart out to you, and one day
And do the I've
you and
always
him,
been in
I've
love
always
with
been in
you.
love.
Yeah. You had to have it
So-
before.
So and
for real,
in
'cause it happens.
essence, when I say that women don't have male friends, I'm not saying you don't have male friends that have ill intent towards you.
Yeah. But
You
that
just
best
don't have
friend
male
thing, like-
friends
So
that's generally interested in just being your friends. Because like I said,
right. I think what you're saying can go both ways. Because when it comes to the flip side where a man's like, oh, this is my female best friend, it could have went down that same
The exact
path.
same. Yeah.
So what you're saying is not off. A lot of times you end up liking somebody and then it's like, yo, we used to like each other, but
But yeah,
now we
don't-
fucking cool
they
as
don't rock
shit.
like
But
that.
or whatever.
the reason why I point that out is because whenever a man will say that women don't have male best friends, a woman say that's not true. But then
Right.
you all have selective amnesia when you see a
It's
guy
not
who-
that,
let me
though.
finish. You all
Yeah.
have selective amnesia when you're dating a guy, but you all can see clearly that his quote unquote female best friend has a thing for him. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
absolutely.
it's like y'all pick and choose when the male friend stuff aligns with you all.
But,
Is that what-
but that's I guess what I'm trying to say is like
You get what I'm
it
saying?
Yeah.
happens on both ends of the spectrum because it can be the same thing where a man's like, this is my female best friend. same scenario, I think at the end of the day, when you end up saying like, this is my best friend, it doesn't mean that it didn't start from something else, like kind of like what you pointed out, where there was some type of liking, or, you know, it's like, oh shit, she grew up, you know, whatever. And it didn't work out. And then now it's like, oh, we're the best of friends, because sometimes you realize, yo, this would have never worked out with us. However, us being friends totally works for us, and we are in such a good space. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with just saying like, yo, this is my brother, I don't look at him like that.
And everything that you just explained, it goes back to the 5 exceptions that I pointed out. So let's say you and a guy, let's say you and a guy did not grow up childhood friends. You all probably like, it was always bad timing. You know, the interest was there, but the timing was never
scenario.
there. You see what I'm saying? So y'all just, you know, y'all just said, let's just be cool, you know. So that's just, that part, you know, it makes sense for you to say I have a male best friend. But the part that females will leave out is that there was an attraction there, but things just didn't pan out.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So technically,
at the end of the day, there are certain things that need to be addressed, and certain things that don't need to be addressed. If you, as a man or a woman, you're like, cool, there was an attraction, but you moved on. But we moved on.
I'm starting to see both.
I don't think you need to really go into detail and tell the next guy that you're dating or the next woman that you're dating, so we used to like each other, but we decided to be friends. Like, I don't think you really need to like divulge all of that.
And you're 100% right. But the thing is, a lot of the times when you all would know deep down inside that how you met this dude, or you know, low-key, if you was to say, hey Johnny, come to my house, I'll let you hit, this dude will low-key come and hit.
Well,
and the thing is, a lot of times you all are not honest with yourself.
It goes both ways, because it can happen for a man or a woman, and it's not about, you know, women aren't honest or men aren't honest. It can happen either way. If you yourself can't say, this is my best friend, I would never see myself doing this, then you should not be calling that person your best friend. Period. It doesn't matter, man or woman. Now, if you're like, that's my best friend, however, this nigga can get it, that's not your best friend.
Yo, that's funny.
Like, that's not your best friend.
But here's the funny part, though. The dude some of y'all will be claiming is your best friend. These are some dudes that y'all was intimate with, and then y'all bring the same dude that's your best friend around the guy that you're talking
about. This is getting a little messy.
And I mean, of course, we can go down a rabbit hole with all that.
Because like I've been in a situation where I know girls who, you know, we was close, and their new dude, they brought me around their new dude. Oh, this is my friend. I'm like, wow.
He was like, I was just.
So then that opened a guy's eyes. Like, when I meet a young lady now, and she introduced this guy to me as her male best friend, what's the history?
So what I want you to do is, and what I want you to do as far as that's concerned, and this is where us as individuals have what we call growth. If you've had a prior situation where you're like, yo, somebody put me in like a situation that wasn't as comfortable, and you feel like somebody needs to be a little bit more open, like, you have to be open-minded. For me, like, I've dated dudes who have a plethora of women that are their friends. And for me, I'm like, until you show me otherwise, I'm going to take that as that is your friend. You went to college with this person. You went to high school with this person, whatever the history may be. And I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to dig, because when you start digging, you make yourself miserable at the end of the day, because you're spending so much time wondering and trying to figure out, oh, there's got to be some history. Why are you cool with this person? Like, I know DJ Naph and I get all the time, oh, y'all just co-host? Yeah, motherfucker, we just co-host. Like,
she did make me some oatmeal earlier though.
This nigga lying again on the podcast. Like, but like we get that, and we're strictly co-hosts. We are friends at the end of the day. Like, we have a friendship, and there's that history, but people want to try to make it more than what it is.
You don't know
give me the phone.
She on the podcast right now.
Yeah.
You don't know how he will react. You don't know the reason why up, and you don't know how things can go, or you don't know what a tad bit of emotions or feelings the old dude that you used to date have when you bring your new dude around who
Nah,
he
right.
think could look better than him. So you have a lot of insecure dudes out here. So it's not more so about you feeling like, well, I can't control if that guy be insecure. You have to understand when a male testosterone ego kicks in, that's something that a woman cannot control if altercation
Oh
kicks
yeah.
in.
No doubt. No
But you know
doubt.
what? Like at the end of the day, it boils down to your level of communication
Right.
and being transparent with the person that you're with. And it kind of goes from there. There's always going to be quote unquote baggage from, your past. And it's all about how you move forward. That's why I'm like,
Right.
at the end of the day, it's just all about, okay, how do I move forward as an individual, as a couple, and go from there.
No doubt. Great points, man. Speaking of moving forward, man, let's talk about Angela Yee and Charlamagne the God and
Woo, child.
this beef.
Yeah, we getting into
they
the
got a
media
beef?
mess of the week,
Man,
y'all.
I'm learning everything new about.
It is
Look, we
beef.
gotta stay
So,
hip to it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I was late, watching the interview with Charlamagne that he did with Gucci.
yeah,
I thought,
saw
and
that.
again, because I didn't understand, like you had posted it, and you was like, Gucci man tripping. And then I seen it up in the fellas group chat. And, I got home one day or whatever and was like,
Yeah,
all right, let me
watching
check
it,
this joint
yeah.
out. I found it on YouTube. He actually has a pretty dope channel too, by the way. Charlamagne's joint.
oh yeah,
So I'm
it's
watching
a
his
new
interview.
channel.
Yeah, it's new. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh shit. I personally enjoyed the interview, and I didn't, recognize any of the foolishness until the very end when that part
Yeah.
came up.
Mhm.
And of course, like I found it a little
He called her,
humorous.
I don't know what, a bitch ass.
Yeah, he called her a bitch and some. Now,
No, he didn't call her a bitch. He called her a bitch ass. That was
the
a
way he
bitch
said
ass
it, he
move.
was like, something like him and
Yeah.
Envy. Now, I will say this: I do think this is just me personally that she's not telling 100% the truth. However, I don't agree
About
with
what?
about
Exactly.
at one point in time she tried to shoot us because she parties, she drinks and all that. Like, and he was like, "Yo, she did that shit. She tried to get at me, but then she gonna try to." Because I've been in that situation where it's like, "Word, oh, now you gonna act like, all right, that's what's up," but you let it go. You know what I'm saying? But she tried to make it seem like she wasn't. Now, again, I don't agree with how he went as far as calling her a bitch ass, and I thought that was a little too far.
That was way
But
too far.
to call her out though, to be like, "Come on, man, you gonna try to play and not like you wasn't chasing a little
So
bit."
let's give
like,
people like a little, like, hopefully people know what's going on, but just to recap.
Do a little
So at one point in time, the Breakfast Club, Power 105 in New York, Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, DJ MV, they had interviewed Gucci Man long time ago. And at that time,
this was old Gucci. You know what I'm saying?
This was probably, it was probably like what, I don't know, 3 years ago or
I
something.
say when he was still on that, because he looked different now and all.
He definitely
that. Like,
looks different. But
he
it was,
still
I think it was
on that-
like
on that
around,
dope.
yeah, it was like around 3 years ago. They interviewed him, and then he had said something like, "Oh yeah, Angela, you had hit me up before,
Right.
Trying to holler." And she was like, "No, I didn't." And he was like, "Yeah, you did." And he proceeded to say, like, you text me asking me what hotel I'm staying at.
Right.
But that's all he said.
And I think they probably took that out of context too.
But and I'm only going to take what either person has said verbally, right? So he said that, but there was nothing more to it than you text me asking me what hotel I'm going to be at.
Right.
Nigga, I work in the entertainment industry. I can hit you up because I'm asking you
an after
for
party
a
or something
reason.
like, yeah.
What hotel you staying at? Yo, the party's around the block from you. It could have been a million reasons, right? But she kept saying, her bottom line was, I wasn't trying to. Now, mind you, when he said this 3 years ago, he was talking about something that happened back in like 2008, 2009, actually. Okay. So he was like, "Oh no, back in 2009, you had texted me, you was trying to holler at me, whatever." And she was like, "No, I wasn't." Sure. So she left it alone. It blew up into something else because then they did another interview. It was just her and DJ Envy. I want to say it was with like Yo Gotti or somebody that doesn't like
that
Gucci.
Was the joint. Yeah.
And
okay.
On there, I will say
was dead.
They were wrong because, well, I don't want to say DJ Envy was wrong because he talked about Gucci's wife and like Yo Gotti was like talking shit or whatever. So of course that's gonna fuel any man. Like, that's my wife, whatever. And he wanted to come back on the Breakfast Club, but then I heard that, Angela and Envy turned it down, but Charlamagne was like, "Well, I'll still do the interview." So fast forward, Charlamagne did the interview.
Now they mad at Charlamagne.
He didn't check with his well, I don't want to say check with,
yeah, because he is his own brand.
He did it right, and so he went ahead and did the interview, but the interview was cool until the end, and it got messy, and then excuse me, that's when Gucci started calling Angela Yee a bitch ass, and he said he would smack DJ Envy and all
he
this
said
stuff.
He's going to smack.
Just stupid stuff, and I'm like, okay, sir.
She was hilarious.
So of course now there's like at that time Angela Yee had unfollowed Charlamagne. She was upset. She did an interview with Quicksilver, like Quicksilver has his morning show here in DC.
Shout out to Quick.
So she was on the morning show, and he had asked about it, and she was like, would you do that to your co-host? If there was like, I guess she was trying to say it's one thing to have an interview that you do on your own. It's another thing where you do the interview and then the person starts to talk nasty about a person to the point where it can never even be on air. Like it has to be on another platform because it would never be on the radio. Like he was calling her a bitch ass and saying all this other stuff. And she's like,
she felt like he should have defended her.
Yeah, she felt like either defend or you should have edited. Charlamagne felt like, nah, I'm not editing. Freedom of speech for, these entertainers. But she looked at it like, yo, like she recently broke her silence. I think it was with TMZ. And
I saw that.
Yeah, and she was like, listen, he says I texted him back then. She said, I'm not even going to go as far as to say I didn't text him, but she was like, I was never trying to holler at him. I wasn't interested. Yeah. And she said, and everyone who knows me knows like what I like. So she said, but if we want to be real here, y'all want to pull up a picture of Gucci from 2009? Because that's when Gucci was strung the fuck out. And she was like, do you really think I was like, yo, I need to holler at him, So she was trying to bring a point, like bringing it back around, like even though he's trying to say this is what it was, that's not what it was.
Gotcha.
The only issue I have with this is that I feel like Gucci Mane is being disrespectful towards his wife. Like, he's married, you done moved on in life. Why are you harping on somebody that you so-called tried to holler at you back in 2009? That doesn't mean anything. Like, you done moved on in life, you got married, you cleaned up your, like, you look good now. Like, that woman has been through a lot. So I understand defending her because Yo Gotti was talking about her. But I'm like, why do you keep talking about Angela? Like, it's almost like he just wants, I don't know if it's kind of like what you said before, bringing up some controversy, like, bringing your name up. Because now it's been all over the blogs, right? Like, and Gucci just dropped the album, right? So I'm like, how convenient is that? You just dropped an album. Now you want to bring up this whole, Angela Yee from the Breakfast Club tried to holler at me again. And now I'm banned from the Breakfast Club. Like, it would be like one of those things where it's like, it seems like I did text you then reaching, because I'm like, it is now 2019. Like, even why are you bringing up something from 10 years ago? Like, who cares? Are you saying? But she's denying it because she's like, yo, that didn't really happen. So I'm not going to say that it did and have you going around about it, but I also did not care to go into detail about it. So it's caused a little tension on the Breakfast Club. Like, I know I've been paying attention, like just listening and seeing like, oh, is somebody shading somebody? Is somebody like, when you have little tension in the group and it's like you throwing little undercuts, like, oh, okay, I know something that I could say about this motherfucker, or, whatever. So it kind of, is getting to that point where everybody's watching. I, for one, don't want to see the demise of the Breakfast Club, because I
heard a rumor or something like Charlamagne was leaving. I don't know if that's true.
I highly doubt it. Like, they make way too much money to
you don't need a Breakfast Club. I'm just saying, Charlamagne is.
But even though he's doing his own, like, they're all doing their own ventures and they all have been successful, I feel like you can't replace. And if one person leaves, it's kind of like everything falls apart.
Right.
I, for one, don't think like everything should just. Oh, are we switching our mics? Okay. I, for one, don't think that, like that they should just call it quits on the Breakfast Club. It's like, I think there needs to be behind the scenes discussion to be like, hey, you could do what you want, but if you really just care about me as a person and somebody's going in talking shit about, I know if somebody's talking shit about me to DJ Naph, he better stand up for me or I'm gonna beat his ass. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. He gonna come in thinking shit is sweet, and I'll be like, hey, I heard somebody was talking about me, and he gonna think shit is sweet, and I'm gonna whoop his ass. So it's gonna be just that. But I just think on a like
I'm gonna be co-signing. Like, I know, right? She ain't shit.
and I'm gonna beat his ass. It's gonna be hands will be thrown. Okay.
We'll press charges. I'm like,
you that okay, Peter. Okay, we see you with your petty ass. But yeah, so like that was just the rundown. I feel like this has gotten way too much exposure, and at the end of the day, Charlemagne. I don't want to say he was wrong for doing the interview. I love it was just like he should have kind of just stopped reaching his tracks. You there fuming, you be like, "Oh, word? Okay, let me get everyone claps back on Twitter." You know, like I just that was just my only thing. So say what you want. So as far as him addressing like what was said about his wife, he has every right to. So here's his wife. He should be able to address that. But
hell no.
I guess when will this guy shut up?
Really?
Let me stop.
That's what she sound like.
But yeah, she was like, when will this guy shut up? The only song you were a part of making was 100.
I don't remember that song.
Thank you for that, but you were not part of the creative or executive process on that album. Please move on and speak about an artist you are hopefully actually helping, and stop trying to bring up me for relevance. I don't bring your ass up. No one is asking about you. I'm trying to be nice.
Wow.
Like,
she kind of went in a little bit.
Yeah, like
I mean, he is kind of more becoming like a social activist more so.
Yeah, like, and she told him to just focus on his family hustle show and stop focusing on her. So many words. But I don't know. Do y'all feel like she was being sensitive, or you feel like okay, she needed to address it because he brought her up, and then it kind of I guess died, and then the Breakfast Club was like, yeah, you said Iggy Azalea was like the worst decision you ever made. So
it's there, and this was the other thing too. Not to go back to the Charlemagne thing, but Cats was like, yo, y'all drag people all the time and come for people and laugh, and now you getting laughed. It was a whole thing with that, but he didn't go out of his way to bring her up. If they asked a question,
they did ask him,
right. And he answered honestly, like, yo, this what, and as a fan, I outside looking in, I could be like, what the hell is he doing with her?
Yeah.
He tried to step out, do something different. It didn't work out. Okay, you take the L, you keep it moving. But is it wrong for him to openly say that? Like, yeah, this might have not been the best decision of one of my load. I don't know how he said it, or if it came off kind of like.
He said it like what it was. He was like, when she started to realize she had white fans, she switched it up because she felt like she didn't need, black fans anymore. Like that was his, whole takeaway.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
But
so
I don't know. I don't think there's anything malice or foul in that. If that's all it was.
I don't think there was anything wrong with him saying anything, and I honestly don't think there was anything wrong with her
responding.
Yeah, like
I mean, was it necessary? I guess is what I'm looking at. Was it necessary to clap back if he didn't say anything?
Yeah, because he talked about this more than once. So I think for her, she was like, "God damn,
like stop bringing me up."
Like,
I guess
it's kind of like that ex that keeps talking shit about you on social media, and eventually you be like, "Okay, nigga, I'm gonna address this for once and for all." Like, you over here, upset about our breakup, but I'm gonna tell you like what it is and leave me alone, basically. I don't think T.I. is wrong for saying what he had to say, but he, with that, you gotta understand that there's going to be some repercussions, or someone's gonna have something to say and go from there. Like,
this is the culture we live in.
Yeah, like I think it's only right that you're allowed to address.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying she shouldn't have had a response or anything. I'm just looking at, I don't know. I'm just so focused on the content. Somebody asks a question and you answer it honestly.
Yeah, but I don't think there was anything wrong with that. Like he answered it honestly. And
she looked better than she sounded. I'll say that. Looking at this picture though,
you stupid.
She do.
Does she have any new music?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like her stuff started popping back up in the DJ pools and stuff, and I'm like, what? She's still making music? So I'm listening to a couple of joints.
Mama gotta eat, right?
And they're straight, but like, and we haven't. You're not gonna hear them out in like, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not. Somebody's playing them somewhere, just not where
here.
we at. But and that's fine. Like I've never been an Iggy fan. You know, not. Anyway, moving on. Moving on, yo. Oh, you want me to do this one too?
Yeah.
Okay. You like
it.
nigga, you put it up here.
Saturday
I already opened it up.
Night
So this joint
Live.
it just seems like just following that, man. Like everything is too sensitive. Now I don't know how many of y'all watch Saturday Night Live. Like we just talked about.
Fella. Hey, big fella.
I don't I don't watch TV like that, right? So I catch clips every
That's
now and
only
then.
because DJ Naph ain't got cable, y'all.
Oh no, I cut that joker off, man. But nah, man, I start watching TV. That stuff's bad for your brain, man. Read a book or something. You know what I'm saying? Read some books. But no, so I seen this joint come up again. Don't remember how I found it. I just kind of looked at it, thought it was funny. But this dude, I used to say his name, Michael Shea.
Yeah.
Under fire on Twitter for calling Caitlyn Jenner a fella on the Weekend Update, right? So you know they do their skits or whatnot. You see Candiva laughing or whatnot.
Don't be bringing me into this.
No, because it be stuff that's like to me or that we think is harmless, and then somebody will take it to like a whole like other thing. Like, where's the line? I guess from where like nothing's funny no more, or and I don't know if he was like
this, and it says Shay joked about Kanye West's new religion public persona by comparing him to Jenner, joking that the rapper is turning into an old white lady. Like, you have to understand,
I'm trying to
it's
scroll
Saturday Night Live. These people are. It's just like, you know what? And I'm kind of glad that you brought this up because a lot of comedians have been talking about how they've been trying to they're trying to censor comedians.
They're trying to censor everything.
I'm a comedian. This is what I do. I make jokes for a living. Like, I talk shit. Like, don't take it personal.
Right.
So if these are all comedians on Saturday Night Live, they make skits about, you know, anybody in the media. What you getting all upset about?
Right.
At the end of the day, we all know Caitlyn Jenner identifies as a woman,
right.
but we all know Bruce Jenner is a motherfucking man.
Right.
Like, so it like I
of world champion caliber.
Okay,
like,
was.
You know, well, I mean, you can't erase
and
what
that's
he
fine,
what he accomplished.
But it's like, I think, listen, we getting called nigga left and right on.
I was about to bring that up
on every time I turn around, somebody's calling somebody a nigga, a monkey, or something, and y'all are upset because Caitlyn Jenner, who used to be a man, has been called fella. Like, get the fuck out of here! You gotta give me something real.
I think we when I
Caitlyn
say we
Jenner,
now,
go in your little Malibu home and cry as you tuck your shit to the side and get over that, because
I haven't heard or seen anything that she said anything, but this is like Chappelle was talking about that when they talk about the alphabet community and how powerful they are, whatnot. Like I said, so from being an African American first, right, or just being black, period, in America, like we've been made fun of behind the scenes and in public, right? Movies, media, whatever. Like, so for us, it's kind of like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. You know, women, they have been made fun of, you know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's been made. Chinese have been made fun of. You know what I'm saying? Like
it hasn't changed.
Right.
Still being made fun of.
So, but now it's like this particular community is kind of like off limits, but they make fun of people too. You know what I'm saying? You have gay comedians who are openly gay. You know what I'm saying? Who I guess,
and you know what's the double standard? The gay comedians that can make fun of other gays and they don't get, you know, any backlash for it because it's like, well, I'm part of the community,
so I can do it. Yeah, I don't know.
That's some bullshit. Like, it's some bullshit because it's like, I respect it because you're a comedian. I don't respect it because you're also gay or transgender or whatever. That's not where my level of respect comes from. It's like, you're a comedian. Right. So I clearly know I paid $39.99 to go to your comedy show.
Right.
And I'm coming here for laughs. I'm coming here for jokes.
Yeah,
like,
it has nothing to do with
even
your
like when they
sexual
start
preference
joking
or
on people in the
orientation.
audience, and I'm like, what are we gonna do next? Like, I'm gonna start suing comedians because I
That
go to a
could,
comedy show
ooh,
and you
right.
like you roasted me, and now I'm gonna be like, you know what? You went too far. Like, it's kind of like, people try to say that we're sensitive when the N word's being used.
Yeah.
But
When
the
you talk about
the word
privilege
nigga
and
has never been
he's
used.
always pulling the black card, the race card, the race
But
card, the
like
race
y'all
card.
never used it in a positive, like although because they try to double standard and be like, well, y'all say it because we say it in an endearing way. Like we don't, like we say it in a, yo, we recognize one another, whatever. Like
Yeah.
we're like it's like we have a common bond, but it's not like we're like, oh, I mean, we'll say it in other ways too, but at the end of the day, that's our prerogative. If people in the LBGT community want to call each other different types of names,
Yeah.
have at it. I don't get too fucked. Would I do it? No.
Right.
Because I don't like identify with them.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like me saying something would be appropriate. But if I'm a comedian and I'm telling these jokes and
Right.
trying to get this check,
Right.
just like when Kevin Hart couldn't host, what was it, the
Oscars.
the Oscars,
Yeah.
because he said something
10
I
years
don't know
ago.
10 years ago, and it's like, come on, y'all. Like, I just feel like sometimes it's a reach. So
Yeah.
that calling Caitlyn Jenner a fella, it's still true, because did Caitlyn go through with the procedure? No, Caitlyn still got a dick. So at the end of the day,
It's perspective and context. Like, and I look
I
at
get
the
it.
intent. Like, if you're saying something to be funny, and I get it, because that could be like somebody
It's
could tell a
just
black joke, we might not think it's funny, but it depends though.
I don't know.
Right, that's why I stopped. I heard some. I'd be like, "Hey, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
you know what I'm
like,
saying."
I'm never, as long as you like, not like, yo, so these niggas ain't got nothing else to do but sit around. Then I'll be like, okay, wait the fuck a minute. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's-
different.
it's-
But if you're making a black joke off of like a stereotype and it's
Gary
funny
Owen makes black jokes all the time.
And that nigga is funny, and he's not black.
But and it's not just like, oh, I have a black wife, whatever. But he's not offensive with it or like deliberately trying to be like.
We all have, there are funnies within our community.
Yeah, within our shit.
Yeah,
and then,
like there's
and other
something
people's stuff.
funny, like just like people will never let it go.
What the hell is going
I
on
don't
over
know.
there? I'm glad that ain't pop up over here.
I'm trying
That
to
should have
close,
been right there on.
I'm trying to close out my screen. Like, what the
Look,
fuck
they
is
was
this?
rumbling.
Yo, sorry, y'all. Sidebar. Y'all ain't see that. Y'all ain't see that. Yeah, so whatever. We
Anyway,
can
move
with
on
it.
with this, man. Was this the last one? Hold on.
Yeah, you out
the
here
cycle,
just getting all the white
man,
people
just
out
all
here.
because
Look,
I got to
DJ
expose their
DJ
foolishness
Naph is
too.
trying to make this an equal opportunity.
It is, man.
podcast.
Look, I got a letter from the people saying, "Listen, man, you got to get
He's tired
your
of
white
Candace
listeners
just
up."
talking about black people all
Okay,
the time.
you know, white people do stuff too. So.
Oh, they definitely do. Barbecue Becky.
Okay. Oh wow,
Yeah.
barbecue back.
Yeah. So I actually
So,
read this
Did you?
article,
And I was trying to bring it up, man, but
and this goes right into the Caitlyn Jenner shit.
and I didn't plan that intentionally. I just
like
was
you
like,
did.
oh wow, okay. So it's trying to open up. But basically, man, there's this oh, of course it opens right when I close it. Yeah, there was this 37-year-old Canadian transgender cyclist, right? World titles, you know what I'm saying? Second world record. The reason I brought it up because when we talk about it's an election season. Actually, for everybody in VA, man. November 5th, that's Tuesday. Make sure y'all get your asses out and vote. You know what I'm saying?
You
I'm
ain't
gonna
got
go
to
vote.
tell me twice.
You know what I'm saying? But no, so I brought this up because when we talk about that and they're trying to erase all these lines, it was women last week. They was complaining about them taking the little thing off the always joint. Like, nah, yo, we taking that off. The little logo, I guess.
For the maxi bag?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did hear
Right.
about
Right. So they was
yeah.
going off about that. This is another thing that kind of goes into it now. If you have people that are born men and they have the procedure or they say they identify as women, and they're competing against women, right? As men and beating them and blowing their records. It's like, come on, man. You're not you're a dude. Of course you're gonna do better
very
than
unfair.
So that was the thing we was getting at.
Very
like, yo,
unfair.
if you continue to
Did
go.
you see the picture? Hold on.
Yeah,
I want y'all to see this motherfucking picture of where's the first. Oh, here's the first one. So you have a transgender. I will say this, and I don't care how people feel. I don't care if you're a transgender. You still need to, if you are in a sport, you need to compete against your original sex.
And that's what they were saying. Like the dudes
Look
were
at this
saying, yo, he
picture.
did that because he
So-
couldn't compete against the men.
Right.
So
and then
he
now
went
you
to
got
go.
these women. Look how small they look compared to this dude. Like, come on now. The dude's like what, 6'2", they said?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
First of all, he's Canadian, so you know she now is Canadian, so you know she's big as fuck. But like,
but here's the other thing
I
too.
don't agree with you're competing against people, and like it's kind of like like we can break this down even further. If you have a 8-year-old and
Yo,
you're
she
an
looked
8-year-old,
pissed.
yeah, if you have like an 8-year-old who is playing flag football, little boy, and then a 10-year-old ends up playing on the 8-year-old team. Now you know the 10-year-old's gonna be stronger, be faster, whatever.
Right.
That's not fair.
Right.
So it's like, why should we turn our heads just because, well, this person now identifies as a man or a woman, so you gotta let them compete. I don't think that's fair. And really, if you see a transgender where a man has transformed into a woman, that motherfucker ain't be like, oh, I'm about to wrestle y'all. Like, no, they're gonna be like, you know what? I'm good over here. So I think they need to just like reevaluate those lines of like, okay, you can, like, I get it, you want to be seen as an equal, but you're really not. At the end of the day, your genetic makeup makes you
right, and you can't
not.
change that. I think too, part of the reasons that people laugh at it, because we got to be honest, there are some people who will blatantly take advantage of that lane that's been created. This is kind of an example. I like to look back to at the whole Bradley Manning situation. The dude that had got in trouble and did some time, you know, when he was leaking videos from the army, like classified images and stuff on WikiLeaks. Then all of a sudden he's like, oh no, you know, he that's how he kind of saved his ass a little bit. I'm not Bradley, I'm was it Chelsea now? You know, they did a whole documentary and all that. Now, keep in mind, like some of these people who are claiming to be transgender, they're not necessarily going through with the procedure, right?
Right.
Which, so there's also a segment on YouTube, which is where we are, who says, hey, some of y'all need to push back too, because there's people that are kind of hijacking your movement. So like if you genuinely feel that way and you relate more with, you know, your feminine energy than your masculine or vice versa, then live your life, embrace that. But there are people out here who are, you know, cut to their benefit. They'll throw on a wig or get some breast implants and then move through life in that lane, taking advantage of all the benefits. You know, meanwhile, people who really feel and identify, they might be out here getting harassed and beat up and attacked. You got people that are playing, they faking it. So we're kind of like sitting back like, really? Hold up, man. You wanted to take y'all seriously, right? As part of the social fabric and be inclusive, which I got to check that too. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude, this is a man. He is not.
It's all man. I don't care.
You know,
what y'all
this is
say.
a man.
I looked at, because when I looked at the article and I looked at the picture, I said, "Oh, this is what we doing."
Does he have breast even?
Go down and you'll see the picture on her on a bicycle.
And the statement that got me was the whole like either we're all equal or we're not. And I think that was like on some
Black
condescending
say that all the
type. You know, he was intentionally trying to be like, "Oh no, I'm a woman. Like this is so y'all gotta accept me. Y'all gotta accept me." Nope.
That's fine that you identify as a woman, but again, I feel like it has to go back to, okay, but your origin is that you were born as a man, so therefore you can't compete. Like, leave it at that.
It's tough, but I'm curious to know what y'all think, man. So yeah, y'all definitely share them comments, man. That's a conversation that we can have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because that's definitely gonna come back up as we continue to progress as a society and things are changing. You know, these are things people gonna have to start looking and asking, yo. You know.
So so we gonna wrap up the media mess of the week. With that, you know, it was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of foolishness going on, man.
We want to get into, of course, we have Nels here from DC
Still
Now
holding it down.
Events.
Still holding it down. Oh, my cup's way over there. Ain't that
So we
something?
definitely like we got into like you giving an overview and a background of like how DC Now events came about. So like really like to date, what do you feel like has been your biggest challenge when it comes to working with event planners or influencers? Because like I guess like you said, you guys aren't creating these events, you're more so connecting and working with the event planners, and you have the platform to basically inform the community of like what's going on. So like what's been
Right.
your biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge I would say for us at DC Now Events is more so to be able to identify the services, the values that we have to make sure it aligns with other event planners or companies that will want to partner up with us or will want to have us sponsor their
Okay.
event based off the
Mhm.
sponsorship program that we had launched last year of March.
How'd you even get into that business, first of all?
The event business.
Yeah, to event planning.
I actually got it.
coordinating.
I actually never used to like going to events, like pertaining to like club wise or
Right.
parties. I was a big go-go person. I used to
Okay.
love the
Mhm.
go-go's.
Okay.
I started partying at a very young age, like 13, 14, 15.
Wow.
Got into my first go-go when I was
So you
16.
right, that's the same time Candace was out here sneaking into clubs, and
Yeah.
That's a lie.
you was
Yeah.
in
Don't-
Jersey.
I don't have to sneak into
Your mother
any
watching, ain't
clubs.
she? Yeah, we're
I
gonna
didn't
talk.
sneak into any clubs.
Okay.
I waited until my time.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
my high school friend, he got into the club business when he was a senior in high school, but he was just doing it for like fun
Gotcha.
Yeah.
and to get him for free.
Yeah.
So I used to go to a lot of his parties when he used to host his parties.
Yeah.
But I just got tired of winning. And I was like, yo, dog, hey, can you get me in? The times I did
That
went to actual
infamous,
clubs,
can you
right?
get me in?
Yeah. So he was like, if I can remember the story, he was like, if you pass out these flyers or if you invite an excess amount of people, I'll get you in. I was like, all right, cool.
That's what's
So
up.
I just
Basically
had
working like a street team. kinda
right.
thing.
So
Yeah.
I was in college at the time, and I knew I had a lot of women friends, and I invited a lot of them to come out, and the guest list was crazy. And from there, we just started to like communicate more, and we just started to hit the pavement, and that's how I got into the club industry. So
That's
it
what's
was
up.
by accident.
It was kind of because you wanted to party and you saw an
Yeah.
opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I really used to hate clubs. Like I never
Right.
understood the notion of me paying $20 to get into a club where I hear the music
hear that.
on
Look.
the radio. Instead, I can pay that same 20 to hear a live band. So that's
Right.
why I never used to go to clubs like that.
Okay.
But,
Fair enough.
They gotta pay. You gotta pay so we can keep them open. I guess the
Yeah.
establishment's running. But yeah. So like, so you said like your biggest challenge is more so finding what aligns with your core values and
With
you know,
this.
and then and that sponsorship and going from there, like them wanting to say like, oh, okay, yes, we can use you as an official sponsor for
Right.
XYZ.
That's
event.
pretty dope.
So,
Right.
I mean, I think that's important. I shouldn't promote your brand and then you don't want to ultimately give me a sponsorship,
Right.
Right.
platform on there. So, like, what is the next business venture that you have for DC Now events? Like, I know there was kind of like talks of you guys expanding.
Yeah, the next expansion that we're going to be doing is going to be Philly Now Events. We're going to
Okay.
be transitioning to the Philly
So wait,
market.
why Philly? Because you from Jersey.
Right.
So why Philly?
Well, Philly, when I went there for a business trip during the spring, it reminded me so much of the DC area.
Okay.
He's
The
like, yo, Philly
layout.
was loved, yo.
Mhm.
I don't know. Them
Philly
Philly
was
girls
love.
a little ratchet.
And I have a lot of family out there,
Okay.
and just by having
Wait,
family,
he said he got a whole family up there. Oh man.
No, he got family out
Oh.
there. Not a
no.
Oh, I thought he got a whole family up there.
Yo,
I don't have
You
no-
heard it here first.
I don't got no kids.
So okay, so there's some type of like connection with the community.
Yeah,
'cause you got
it's some type of
I got
connection
family
out
in
there.
Philly too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's some type of connection out there. And just me being out there, I was able to like just observe like the scenery, like talking to a few people, hearing their
Mhm.
outcries, and it's the same it was the same thing that I was hearing
that you're doing
when
here.
I was doing here.
Where
So I
people
was
are
like,
like, what is there
right.
to do?
Aside from just the clubs,
Yeah.
So that was the main reason why I wanted to create the DC Now Events brand, where um it not only is it saving you all time, but
Yes.
also is making you feel like a tourist all over again.
Yeah.
And with the platform that you all have, it's also that hub where you can be able to land on to connect and find your ideal creative. Where if DC Now Events will post something on our platform, instead of media outlet just looking at it as a event platform, you all can look at it as a go-to source, where okay, we see they tag this person or this event, this look very interesting, let's find out who's doing this event so we can bring
Yes.
them onto our podcast.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's
Right.
the value that is going to bring to a lot of people from a domestic and an international standpoint, as the brand and the platform grows in the cities that we're going to choose
Right.
and the continent that we're going to go into.
Yeah, no, I think that's very important. Like, I'll say for one, like, I definitely reference your page when there's times where I'm like, what's going on today that I may not know about? Because, like, like DJ Naph and I, we definitely do our own research as far as like events that are going on in the DMV. And kind of like you said, we don't always want to go out to a club. Like, that's cool, but it's like sometimes some of these establishments have a spin on things. So we're looking for something different to do. A lot of us are getting older and we kind of outgrew the whole I want to go to the club and stand around and look at everybody and
Right.
not socialize, versus I want to go somewhere where I can interact. So I think that's important, to give that balance to people. And I'll be honest, there's times where, kind of like DJ Knock brought up, like the R&B event.
Yeah, I like that type of stuff.
There's times where people just want to get ratchet and they're like, yo, I'm trying to have a ratchet Friday. Like,
Right.
You cater to every audience. And I think that is very important. Just to grasp as a whole, so
Right.
people
Right.
know what's going on. So
Speaking of that, when you talk about audiences, would you say you gear more towards like the young professional crowd, or like is there a specific? Because I mean, you said before y'all was promoting for like younger parties, and then obviously you do stuff for people like our age. Is there like a
Right. So
young.
target audience? I guess you would
yes,
say.
so we have a target audience. Our
Okay.
target audience basically falls into like the 5 categories that everyday event goers falls into when
Okay.
they're looking for something to
Now,
do.
see, I didn't know that existed. Now we getting
Right.
some more game.
So
Okay.
the categories can range, rather if you're 4 years old, 5 years old, up until you're 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And
Yeah.
those and that audience falls into event goers who are looking for something that's free.
Okay.
Event goers who is looking for
That's
something
me.
from a cost friendly standpoint.
Cost friendly. That's
Me
probably
too.
me.
Something from a family, something from a friends, and something
Me-
from a date night.
Me too.
And
I can't just do everything. Yeah.
and
That's what's up.
and once we was able to break down what the everyday event goers look for
Right.
when they look for something to do, we was able to create an inclusive platform that caters to everybody, and
Super
for
dope.
them to feel reassured that if we let you know this is what's happening, we categorize specifically what type of event it is, so now you don't have to overthink what type of event it is. And even though you may have your own network, or you may find and do research on your own to find events, there's no better feeling than to have a platform. Not only are they finding the event for you, but they're reassuring that this is an event that the category that you're looking to attend an event it falls into, and you don't have to overthink anything.
Super
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super dope.
No, I think, like, honestly, sometimes the market gets oversaturated with
I was
a
gonna ask you about that.
million
With that
event
and
planners,
competition
promoters,
and
and stuff. But I see value in like DC Now events. I find value because I can literally go onto Instagram and
it's
I
a
can
range of
scroll the
things, right?
page and I can find different things that may interest me and then share it with other people. And sometimes it may be something I know about and I forgot, or it's something that I didn't know about at all. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can do this today, or oh, this sounds fun, or whatever. So I definitely applaud you, because a lot of times people miss that mark of like,
Right.
how can I, you know, make this for the people,
Mhm.
and what's the importance behind it? How can I, just make it successful and make it work at the end of the day? Because
Right.
we see a million flyers and a million, people tagging you on social media about stuff. And then it's nice to just have one page where it's like, I'm going to take the collective of everything that's going on and boom, here you go. Like
Yeah.
it's right here and you can just, go from there. So make sure you guys follow DC Now Events. You guys are on like what, Instagram?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're going to be rolling out our Snapchat in a few days.
That's what's up.
Okay.
And yeah. And I was before
So
you had stepped
do you
off.
have a partner or is it just you?
So I have a team of
Okay.
staff.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But
Big money.
yeah. It's a team of five, 6 of us.
That's what's up.
Okay.
But from the creation standpoint, it was solely myself that started the
Right.
Okay.
company.
Gotcha.
That's what's up.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
dope.
no,
Like
super dope.
definitely, I was gonna say give it up. Make sure you guys follow him on social media, like DC Now Events, and you can stay connected with what's going on in the DMV.
And stay tuned for Philly Now event.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta have you come back
Look,
when you
the
do that, yo.
expansion, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We do
And make sure, don't forget about the Purple Gala that's
Oh, yeah,
going on,
yeah.
Make
Put
sure you
that-
guys, the Queens and Castle
Put that out one more
Gala,
time for
get your
y'all, man.
tickets
Go check that out.
Quick question: how did you first stumble across DC Now events?
on Instagram. 'Cause
Same here.
I'm connected. I'm the plug.
Yeah, she's
How
the
long you been
plug.
following us?
How long? I can't tell you how long, but exact, but I'll definitely say probably since before the summertime is what I'll say.
Did you had an idea that it was black owned based off of just looking at the platform?
Yes.
You did? How?
I didn't.
Yes.
Me personally, full
I-
disclosure. Go ahead.
I did, and the only reason why, and it was no shade to it, I did because there were a lot of establishments that I've gone to where I
Okay.
know the type of parties, the type of crowds, and things that they do. So, like, I saw a lot of that promotion,
Okay.
and it wasn't, and it's not, a bad thing in my personal opinion. And I saw where there were other events that may have been a little bit more diverse, but
Okay.
majority of them were they geared towards my interests,
Right.
personally. So for me, I personally followed because I was like, oh, this would be a good way for me to find out what was going on.
I asked that because a lot of people think the company's either black woman owned or is white owned.
Right. So to your
I
point,
definitely didn't get that vibe.
I stumbled across it probably last summer, like looking for stuff to do. Like I had
Mhm.
people coming to town, whatever, good, and it popped up. And I'm like, you follow some promoters, some DJs, but looking for something different. And I stumbled across it, and I was following it for a while. And then I actually unfollowed it because, like you said, a lot of this stuff, I was like, this doesn't really seem like it's on some party type stuff. It was like family friendly type of events, probably perfect for like
It
people coming
varies.
into. Right, it varies.
Mhm.
Right, which I didn't know at the time because I'm like, I'm looking
You
for
ain't
where's
giving
the
a
turn
chance.
up, where's the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what
yeah.
I was looking for was like something like A1 and them and all that. So like, and I agree. I love the lane that you're in. That's like we want to be able to cater to. You shouldn't go to a site that this is some nigga shit. Niggas on that, right? I didn't get that
Yeah.
vibe. I was like, damn, like this seemed like I thought, like you said, okay, this is white people, kind of like with the meetup group, right? When you see meetup, you don't associate. I don't know who owns that, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm subscribed to different events, so I kind of got that vibe, which I think is good from a marketing aspect because you can target multiple things. But yeah, so I was following for a minute, and I was like, okay, I'm probably not gonna go there and stop following it. And then you fast forward, you come back around, and you're like, oh, okay, these cats are actually tied to different things out here, and it makes sense. And then you find it's black owned. I'm like, okay, all right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Honestly, like even if like
Would
being
you-
black owned and then you promote like other events outside of it being like, gearing towards African Americans and stuff, like I don't think it's a bad thing.
was
I
that your
just know
intent though?
that-
Or
So
and forgive me for cutting you off.
No, it's
I had to
okay.
get that out. Like,
so one thing that when I was in the nightlife industry at the time that I had an issue with was that a lot of the promoters who was doing nightlife or who's still doing nightlife, they either are very content or they never really figure out a way how to transition out of the industry, and they become very comfortable with the animal or the short-term attention that they get
You're right.
from other groups. And these other groups of people also that own these establishments, they really don't care two shits about these black promoters that are doing events at their space.
Right.
So
They phase out.
Right. So two things that a lot of the club owners that they'll do. They'll either have a black promoter have them do the event, and they'll give them a bad deal, and based off the bad deal, it will force the black promoter to upcharge or charge their guests some crazy fees at the door or at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, they'll give them a bad deal, and it will discourage them to not want to host the event.
Yeah.
And if you really look at the scope of the nightlife scene in the DC area, there's generally 5 places that a black promoter or a promotion company promote: Ozios, Barcode,
Park.
Rose Bar. Park's
yeah.
black owned. Rose Bar,
Decades, occasionally.
Decades, and
Just thinking about some of the names that I
St.
see.
Eve's.
Oh yeah, I
You
forgot
know,
about that one. Yeah.
and they do that because they don't really want influx of black people at their space.
Right.
So they'll give you these trinkets to pretend that they really they really want to do business with you, but in reality they don't really want to do business with you. And it really makes me mad because these black promoters been having game ran on them for so long, and they so content and they so comfortable with just having few girls sitting at their tables to just get that fake attention.
Yeah.
And some may say it's throwing shades, but it's just
it's
facts.
real. Yeah, it's real.
You know, so I had figured out a way.
Like when you hear about these Tuesday parties.
So
like
on my seat all the time,
Wednesday
and I'm like,
parties.
these people are playing games with y'all, and you all are making them that crazy rich, and they're giving you 10 to 15% of their bar sales after it hits a certain amount. So at the most, you're making anywhere from no dollars to, on a good night, 10 to 20 G's. Now 20,000 may sound a lot, but that owner is taking home 300,000. So it's really not a lot of cash with the amount of wear and tear that you put on yourself and the creativity that you're applying to bring value and customers and create a customer base to their space. And the only thing that they're doing is just having the space. So I also started to realize that because I used to go to a lot of events, pretending from a business standpoint, from concerts, festivals, I started to realize that a lot of these venue owners, even from a non-club standpoint, they'll hide these events from a lot of black people, where you won't know about art festivals, you won't know about beer fest, like the whole beer fest, all of these different unique events that you all are just starting to hear about. I was knowing about that in like 2007 to 2008. And platforms like the Washington Post and so forth, like, though they'll present those events, but they're catering to their network. And if you're not a part of those network, you wouldn't know about those events. I had the luxury of knowing about those events. So I was like, I'm gonna start to not only post these events. At the time, I was posting events on my personal page. I was never posting anything on my DC Now Events page. I had the Instagram, Facebook made, but I wanted to build trust first. So what I started to do was I started to post events on my personal page, and I started to go to these events because they'll tell you about these events, but a lot of black people, they'll create the events where if we was to see it, they'll make the flyer in a way, if we was to see it, we'll be apprehensive to 9 out of 10.
Right.
Like,
this don't look like
white.
it. So
I peeped game years ago. So I said, okay, bet. So I started to post the events, and I said I'm gonna go to these events, and I'm gonna start posting the clips on my Instagram page, so my Black
Yes.
audience can see how I look. Like,
Yeah.
these events are going on.
Yep.
We're not just regulated to just club stuff.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So that was mainly the motivational. That was the driving force of why I created DC Now Events, to
Gotcha.
bring awareness to my community, but
Yeah.
also create it in a way where it can be inclusive. So
Right.
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason why I created the sponsorship stuff.
Right.
Now that's important. That's important. And like, even like a lot of transplants this area wouldn't know this. And, just being a native, sometimes you're a little bit more hip to like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. I'm peeping game. I see what y'all
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do. And it's
yeah.
like, yeah, because like I'll be honest, I don't have to go to an all black event just
Right.
for the sake of going. There are other things that are of interest, and it's important to put it out there to people. I have a lot of friends who they put me on to stuff where I'm like, oh, this will be dope. Like there's some type of art event or something going on.
The thing the thing is, when they put that, whenever we do an event, they classify it as all black, or they
Yeah.
classify it
Right. It's urban or something
in
like
the
that.
nightlife
Urban
term
event, yeah.
urban. So those are Jim Crow terms that they
Mm.
use, right?
Mhm.
And when you go to an event
Hip hop night.
that's quote
Urban night.
unquote a festival, like a Coachella and all that,
Yeah.
it's not classified as all white. And when they classify our stuff as all black, what that do is it make other black people who may have a plantation mindset to not even want to go to their
Right,
events.
Right,
right.
right.
That'd be
You see what I'm
me.
saying?
Because I'd be like, man, I ain't going out there with all them niggas. I'd be like,
And then,
I'm not messing with them.
they over police our events.
That's true too.
They don't
Yeah.
over police their event.
And they be
They
wild as
do the
ones.
most at our events. They pretend that we don't tip. In reality,
We probably over to
we tip more than other groups.
Because we feel like we don't
Yeah.
want to be judged about not tipping enough. So
you know,
we end up doing that.
so those was just a lot of different things that I had a personal issue with. So I was like, once I get in a position of any form of opportunity or resource per se, I'm gonna launch our sponsorship program. So what our sponsorship program is: events that we think have a great mission, great purpose, and great cause will come on board, and we'll
Yeah.
put up our own funds and give that extra push from an advertising standpoint.
Okay.
So we support a lot of African American woman events. So out
Okay.
of since the sponsorship, we sponsor a total of 34 events up to this day, and they all been black owned.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Like no, we definitely like appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think, like it's just good from a community standpoint, especially with all the gentrification going on. It's good to know that, there's events that are still for us, and also at the same rate, like we can also attend other events that are just of interest. I don't think like we should be shunned from all of that. So
Right.
definitely thank you for
coming through.
Informing the listeners,
dropping
and
some
everything.
jewels on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no, we definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we gonna just wrap this up real quick. We like to end the podcast on a note of toasting to folks, because a lot of times we need that recognition. I am out of
Oh look, they didn't kill the whole bottle.
Yeah.
Look,
But it's all good. Make sure you guys, like, of course, if you're watching right now, you can toast with us. If you watch tomorrow or Sunday or
tomorrow,
Monday,
or Monday, or any day.
whenever you watch, you can toast with us. But if you at work, don't be trying to toast.
Hey, that is the
Like,
perfect place to be toasting, yo. Pull out your
all right,
little
go ahead, do that
shooters.
if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely want to toast to another great podcast, and we're going to get into our last segment. So one time for the
Cheers.
cling, cling, cling.
Cheers.
I know we all got empty
Right.
cups, but normally we still have them full, but
It's been going kind of long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go first.
Oh, why
Just
you
get
going
mine out the way,
first?
because I feel like you might have something to say about
Oh
Kanye.
my God.
I really don't have a whole lot to say. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm going to toast to Wale. Shout out to him for
Okay,
his album
Wale.
went, or not his album, but his latest single on Chill featuring Jeremiah went gold. I think it was earlier this week into last week. So salute to him. It's a dope record. You know what I'm saying? Dope record.
Yeah. Shout out to Wale. Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
I told you it was gonna be quick.
All right. So, well, mine's gonna be quick too. Wait, hold on. I want it because I have pulled up some information. Wait,
oops.
I was like, what you booing me for? Look,
I was booing because she said she's gonna be quick. She lying.
I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. But okay, so who I want to toast to is Kanye West.
Okay.
And some of y'all might be like, why are you toasting to Kanye? He's
rise and shine.
Oh, okay. That's what we're doing.
Exactly. Finally, I needed that.
Lord.
I'm toasting to Kanye because Kim Kardashian recently had a birthday and Kanye had donated, which I thought was so dope. Like, you know, a lot of times when you think about these celebrities and you're like, oh, my wife or my husband has everything. So what do you give them that's thoughtful?
Right.
So he donated $1 million to like some of like the charities that she's involved with and stuff. So they're not her charities per se. These are charities that she supports as well.
Right.
So he donated $1 million, and one charity in particular, the ARC, that charity received $250,000. And I want to just break down what this charity is and what it means. So basically, it'll help prevent 1,200 formerly incarcerated people from going back to prison.
Okay.
Part of that is, if you think about people who are incarcerated and they were in prison and they're now out, a lot of times there is no follow through. There's no, like, it's hard for them to get a job, get back into, you know, just society. So this program helps them, what they call is like case management, trauma, like therapy, support groups, things of that nature. So it basically goes to help, you know, revive somebody into society. That is super important, especially with Kim Kardashian pushing so hard with prison reform. And I think it's dope that, you know, as much as y'all say about Kanye, this was a good selfless, you know, present to give back to other people. Especially Kim and Kanye have so much. So
no doubt.
you know, so like, yeah, it's the ARC. And you know, Kim has been very passionate about this. She's been visiting women in different prisons, and they talked about how, I guess, it's a larger population of women who have been locked up, you know, most recently. So
there's been an increase.
Yeah, so I think it's dope that he went ahead and did this, and it's benefiting, you know, the people that need to get reacclimated. I'll just tell y'all a quick story. Like last week, I was going to work and I parked my car. I work in Southeast over by the Navy Yard. And I parked my car in a parking lot, getting ready to get out. And there was this guy who like was approaching my car. I don't like when motherfuckers start approaching me.
Walking up on you.
I don't like that. Like, I could care less about why you're approaching me. It's more so, I'm a woman. Why are you approaching my car? You know, whatever. So I'm getting ready to go to work. So I don't get out the car because I don't know what the fuck this person's trying to do. And I'll say the good thing is there's a heavy police presence around the Navy Yard period. So, you know, that's always a good thing. So this guy was like, and he's a black guy. So listen, this is how the quickest way you will get the window closed on you. Okay. He came up, he was like, hey, so he starts giving me this long spiel about how he was locked up, he got out of prison, and now he's on the right path. Like, bruh, I'm going to work.
Ain't nobody got time to be hearing all this.
30 seconds or less before I have to, you know. So he starts talking, and I was like, sir, and I was on the phone, but I like the way he came up, he kind of like distracted me, and I was like, wait, is like, you know, because sometimes you want to make sure somebody's good. And he did all that. And then I was like, and then he started going to the whole like, I'm out here just trying, and I'm like, here we go with the bullshit. So I just put my window up. He was like, I just need some help, sis. That's not how you're going to get help from me, okay? What you need to do is go down to somebody's office and you go talk to them, because I am not the one that you need to get help from. Furthermore, I'm not comfortable because another homeless man called me a bitch the other day.
Damn.
And he done ruined it for the rest of y'all, okay? He done ruined it for the rest of y'all. I was minding my damn business. He kept touching me, and I told him not to touch me.
Yeah.
And he called me a bitch. He was like, bitch, I ain't touch you.
Oh,
so we lying now to each other's face? Because I lied to you about not having money, and now you lying about having to touch me. Okay.
Wow.
So we lying to each other. But yeah, I'm going to leave y'all on that note.
Oh,
But
shit.
once again, thank you guys for tuning in.
That was hilarious.
Underrated Trainwreck
Man.
to Adult. You laugh at my pain. So
Oh,
I had to laugh at my
man, yo.
pain. Thank you, Nels, for pulling up and
Yeah, we do
potting with us
appreciate
today.
you.
We definitely appreciate
I had a
it.
great time.
Make sure you guys, we're glad. Make sure you guys definitely check us out on YouTube. Definitely follow DC Now Events on social media. Follow the Underrated Trainwreck to Adulting on social media. And of course, I am your girl at Candiva27. Make sure you follow me as well as.
It's your boy DJ Naph, aka the best kept secret.
And we out, y'all. Till next time.
It's podcast time. Lock it in with the Underrated Trainwreck 2 Adulting.